the Discord because I'm not on top of things right now. I think I'm technically supposed to be hosting this one, but you know what? I'm not here right now.
That's fine. We
Anyways,
can both.
hello everybody. We're live. I don't know if anybody's here, but we're live. Welcome to this.
I like welcome to this.
Welcome to this. Yeah, post the link of the Discord. So
yeah, I'm grabbing
our friend tag everyone. Yes, this is the Oathbringer live show, and we're gonna talk about Oathbringer, but we can't talk about the end of Oathbringer, which I'll wait till maybe more people show up to mention that, so people don't reference it in the comments.
It's okay. I'm not gonna look at the.
Oh yeah, like you can.
Yeah,
I would say go to like a different. Can you go to the the private comments tab?
Private chat,
yeah, so you can't see that. Okay, that's good. Because I was like, I don't trust those bitches.
I'll censor myself. It's fine.
It's so hard to like try to talk things in order.
So hard.
Even when you make a document with the plot points in order.
There's so much that happens. It's like, what even is an order? Why? There's no order. It's not a thing.
No order. Pure chaos, everybody.
That's what we're here for.
We are here for the pure chaos. Okay, it says one person is here. We'll give it a minute before we start talking about like stuff in case more people want to come. All right. 3 people are here. That's more than one. Hello to the 3 of you.
One of them is me.
Our regulars.
Our regulars. I assume it's like Eli and Josh. You know, the regular crew. Let us know in the comments if you're hearing us okay, if everything's going.
If you're a ghost or not.
If you're a ghost or not, we'd love to know. I'll be your storm daddy for this evening. Welcome to the party. We'll be talking. Oh, Diana, hello, welcome. We will be talking about Oathbringer, but we're gonna not talk about the entire Sanderlanche because Max didn't finish. We are gonna talk about it. We're gonna kick Max out before, so we're gonna try to talk plot points in order, but don't worry about the comments because Max is just not gonna look at the comments. So we won't share anything on the screen. That's a spoiler for the Sanderlanche.
We still have a ton of stuff to talk about.
There's still, there's still, you know, 1,000 pages of things to talk about. And then at the end, we'll kick Max out, and then we'll talk about the Sanderlanche. And basically the very, very end, like the thing at the end of part 4, like that, and then all of part 5. Hello, Eli. Welcome to the party. We are happy to have you.
Okay.
Crabs, that's right, crabs. Crabs. Oh, there's 5 people now. Hello.
You were muted? No, she's fine.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I will say when I first joined StreamYard, like my mic was just turned, it was plugged in and on, but it was turned off. So if I do, just if I'm talking and you don't hear me, let me know because it might just go out. I think I need to get a new one. So
you did abuse that mic in November.
I really did, yeah. Thank you.
It's really off-putting when I open my mouth.
It's like yeah.
I don't like it.
That's good. I mean, the Night Watcher probably doesn't smile that much, so
no.
Andrew's alive. Congratulations.
Hello.
You're doing better than I am.
We love you. Yeah, none of us. I don't think anyone in this live show is alive. I was really banking on Katrina to be the brain cell, and then Katrina decided they needed to go see Spider-Man instead. So it's okay. We still love you, Katrina. If you watch this back, I support you. But now we don't have any brain cells. So hello.
Oh.
Hi, Hugo.
Yes. So let me.
Do we want to do introduction things first?
Oh yeah. I'm technically in front of you on the screen. Okay, I'll start. Hang on. I was trying to split my screen so I can look at my doc and this at the same time. Because I don't want to keep switching tabs because then I'm going to lose things. 1 second. 1 second, everybody. Okay. All right, so introductions. I am Brianna, one half of Books Before Death, here where you are watching this currently. And I'm also your storm daddy. Enjoy. And that's all I got for you.
So, sorry, my brain's going to go there. I was going to go for it.
Yeah, that's how it works. I'm Casey. I'm the other half of Books Before Death. I am currently the Night Watcher. But, kind of the sexy version of the Night Watcher. I don't know what happened. Okay.
Yeah, literally, like just like I think it was like a week or two ago when Casey was like, "I'm gonna be sexy Night Watcher," and I was like, "Okay." I don't know what that means, but you go for it.
I have a very.
I mean, you gotta match the Storm Daddy, right?
I mean, yeah.
It's true.
We have to
We all know that Storm Daddy is just inherently sexy.
Did you show them your beard?
Like like the painted
The
on
painted on beard.
my sweet stash.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
The lights kind of drown it out. My storm lights.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay. Spins.
Oh, hi, I'm Spence from the channel Sphinx Reads. I do book reviews and random stuff. On to you, Steph.
Hi guys, my name is Steph. I have a blankie. I have a Bucky. I have a taco. I'm here. That's Max.
Hey, I'm Max from Max Reads. I do single book reviews. I read whatever I want, but apparently, sometimes, not fast enough.
and everyone's links are in the description. If you are not for some reason already subscribed to these people, go do so because they're great and we love them, even when they don't read fast enough. I was like, Max posted in the Discord. He was on chapter 97, and there's 122 chapters. We go live in like an hour and a half. I was like, oh no, but it's okay. So yeah, we are gonna be trying to chat in order of like plot events for Oathbringer, and then we are not going to talk about the end of part 4 and into the Sanderlanche in part 5 until we kick Max out because Max did not get that far. So we're gonna try to stay on topic.
You can
We'll see how
spoil
it goes.
things in the comments, Max.
You can spoil things in the comments. We're just not gonna we're not gonna talk about it. So if you say something like referencing something from the Sanderlanche and we don't like acknowledge you, that's why.
Yeah,
But
just type
otherwise-
again when we get there.
Yeah. Otherwise, full spoilers up to that point, and then we'll throw Max into the void, and then we'll
Just what I always wanted.
by which then we will send Max to bed because I assume you'll be dead and need to sleep at that point. You're probably already there, so we'll do our best. But yeah, so the first topic I had in our doc was the wedding at the beginning of Navani and Dalinar. So, what was everybody's thoughts on them getting married?
I feel like straight off he goes in with a big fuck you to the church. Like he's so instantly ready to do that, and that gives me so much life.
Yes. Yep.
You did a good job, Bree.
Yeah, you did. You did a great job officiating.
Yeah. Honestly, it's the greatest thing when he's like, "Oh, like I expected, this," and then Stormfather's just like, "Okay, it's done. Oh yes, goodbye." It's like,
Yeah, sure, whatever.
I fucking love the Stormfather so much. Like, you get so much more of him in this book, and like get to really experience him as like a personality and a character, and he's like developing more of a personality, and I love him. Like, he's just a little bit sassy, and it's great.
Yeah.
He's so sulky.
Like, right? Like the grumpiest
Like a
cloud.
sulky
Dad.
baby.
I love him. I love him so much.
It's like instead of like grumpy old man yells at cloud, it's like grumpy old cloud yells at old man.
Right? They're just yelling at each other, and it's like, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like anything like big at this point, at least.
Yeah, you
Like,
weren't really into it.
Yeah, I mean, I still wasn't like feeling the chemistry between Dalinar and Navani like at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So like when they married, I was like, okay, like cool, good for them.
You're like, it's
But yeah,
alright.
I was more so impressed by like how like Dalinar just like screwed over the Ardent. Like that was perfect.
Like,
Do you
I
know
wanna marry
where
this
I was
bitch.
kind of like about the chemistry? Because I love Dalinar so much. He's like absolutely my favorite cosmere character so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's there with Chris as the top of the pile.
Yeah,
But like I was so suspicious of Navani
I remember.
for such a long time. I'm like, nah,
When
she's
she
up to
first shows
something.
up, she is like a little like because you
Yeah,
don't know
right?
like her intentions or her motives, and you're just
Yeah.
like, okay, she's trying to seduce Dalinar out of
Yeah, I
nowhere.
was
'Cause,
like,
we don't know.
don't you hurt him.
Like you meet her, but you don't know like the history there right off the bat.
Yeah.
But like she's just full on like, all right, baby, let's go. And I'm like, girl, get it. It's like she knows what she wants. Get it. I love her. Navani is the queen of my heart.
I love her so much.
Navani is a true gem. But like I get why in the beginning people would be like, I don't know about this one. But yeah, no, by this point I was down. I was like, let these bitches have like a moment of peace and happiness before we dive into what's about to happen in the rest of this book, which is not, it's not peace and happiness. Spoiler warning, it's not peace and happiness.
What did you guys think of like the kids' reactions, like Renarin, Adeline, and Jasna?
Narin, first of all.
And Elokar, who was a little bit sulky about it.
Oh yeah, Elokar's so salty about it. It's so
He's like,
cute.
this will make my mom happy, so fine, but fuck you. I love him.
This was the first book I really liked Elokar in. Later in the book, I'm like, oh, okay, he has some like really actually cool scenes.
Yeah.
I love him so much. I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, I don't even know what Max knows at this point.
That happens at the end of like part 2, part 3.
Part 3.
Yeah.
I don't trust myself.
Max has left Kolinar and is in Shadesmar right now with that plotline.
Cool.
So you're fine. Yeah, no, we know what happens, and I'm not okay with it. Still,
But we're not there yet. So we don't have to talk
we're not there yet though, because we're going to try to talk in order. So we'll get there. It's in my gut. The next thing that we were going to talk about was my topic was Kaladin goes on a field trip because I'm hilarious. But yeah, Kaladin going back to Hearthstone and seeing his family again, and all of that. Like so much packed into like so little there. Just like all the reunions.
Steph is about to burst.
Oh, I was a bit sus about something that happened.
Okay.
In that bit.
Okay.
I'm just going through my notes. Oh, I have something I was sus about that happened slightly before that as well.
Okay.
Can Patton, he can tell when other people are lying, right?
Pattern? Yes.
I think
so.
Technically, I don't know if it's like 100% like an accurate thing, but it's like, you know, he'll be like, "Oh, delicious lies," you know, when people are lying. So like, I feel like he does.
He would have known straight out when Adeline lied to Shallan that he didn't know who killed Sedaeus.
Not necessarily. I mean, also you have to just trust that Pattern's even paying attention.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's like a lie detector that's gonna go off, but you know, I feel like also because like the way his lies work with when he's like, oh, like good lie with like Shaylin, it's like her lies are all like twisted, illusion-y, weird shit. You know what I mean? It's not like just like a straight out like, oh yeah, no, I don't know who killed that guy. I don't know. You know,
I feel like he would have I feel like he was always going off for something, even if it wasn't her. So I feel like
even if he just went like,
yeah, like he gives something. He's always present.
I feel like more times than not when it's like he's talking about lies, it's Shaylin specifically, and I think that's because of their bond. It's not saying that like he couldn't sense other lies, because I think he can, but it's like I don't think it's like just automatically if he's in the presence of someone lying, he's gonna be like, oh, there's a lot, you know what I mean? And also not like have the sense to be like, oh, Shaylin, that person's lying, because like that's not how his brain works.
But
you know what I mean?
For that,
But he's just suspicious then.
He did that when, unless I was mistaken, and when Shallan was with, forgot what those guys' names were after like the shipwreck, whatever, and those creepy guys with who took her. Who she went on that little trip with, and they were lying. And I remember Pattern going like, something, and she was kind of picking up on his vibes on how to deal with those two guys.
Right. I still don't think it's like 100% like a lie detector. It's just going to go off. Like, I think
it's if he's paying attention and if he can like read the vibes. But I don't think he's actually like, oh, that person is fucking lying.
First of all, fuck you, Eli. Love you, but fuck you. Yeah.
Oh, it's Brando Sando's birthday.
Yeah,
today?
that's true. Maybe he's like looking out for Shallan's feelings.
Yeah.
Because he knows that she likes Adeline.
I mean, Pattern also likes Adeline, so
that's true. That's true. But yeah, like I don't think that's anything to get too hung up on. The not sensing the lie there.
Okay.
So yes, Steph, you were having feelings about Kaladin going home.
I just see emotions and I love him so much. Honestly, the only people I care about in this entire series right now is Kaladin, Dalinar, Jasna, Everyone else.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even Adeline?
Oh, I can't
I
stand
was-
him. Oh my god.
Oh no, I'm gonna have problems with this staff. Oh,
I can't stand him. And every scene between him and Shalon, I was like, gag me. I can't take it.
oh my god.
Here
No,
comes
man.
another one.
Steph,
I was
I don't
just getting
think we
I
can
was
be
just getting
friends
Jesse
anymore.
turned around and now you're on this. No.
Can't do it.
I worked so hard.
It works so hard.
I worked
No.
so hard to get
No.
Jesse off the hate Adolin train because it's stupid and doesn't make sense at all.
Nope, it does.
With him
Jesse's
going
specific
home.
reasons for
Thank
why
you,
she hated
Eli.
Adolin.
I too love Adeline.
I do
He's
have
literally
specific
the best. Like I'll tell you right now. I've read the entire Cosmere however many times, and I think Adolin is like the purest character in the entire Cosmere, like the most pure character. He's absolutely.
I don't know
the
if
most,
he's the purest, but
he
like
is. He's
I'm
literally a
up
golden
why he's
retriever.
not the purest, and I don't.
no, Ellen
don't
is the
think it's
purest. Sorry, but we're not
Spoiler
gonna do
territory, but
Nope.
it has part of the reason I gave this one 3 stars, the T, is the writing, and there were some things about character development that I was like, that is sexist, and no, it's just like,
Which
it's just
part?
like,
I mean, if it's spoiler,
Okay, I'm
we can talk
gonna
about
need
it
more
now.
elaboration later on, like when we get to the parts.
Yeah.
even though I know it's a big part of like the story in general, and that those things are being fleshed out, it's just like I don't like them. It's fine.
That's fair, but like yeah, it's built into the world. So,
Mhm.
but no, you're wrong about
Chris,
Adolin.
like,
Just straight
Chris,
up,
like
you're
that's
wrong.
fair, but you're wrong.
No, that thing that I'm not saying you're wrong about. I was like, that's fine, but Adolin, you're wrong about. I will not agree. Anybody who hates Adolin, I just like straight up. I'm like, nope, incorrect opinion. So once you're wrong, I'm like, you can have that opinion, but it's wrong.
Okay, Adeline's not even in this part, but like,
I don't know if you realize what's happening in the comments, but just a lot.
There's a lot
of,
going
like,
on here. Yeah.
There's a lot happening here.
Susabron's just naive, you know. It's not his fault, but I don't know that he's more pure. Anyways,
With him
that's a
going, with
discussion for a
him
different
going
live
home,
show.
this
with him
is
going home to see his family. My
Yeah.
favorite bit of that whole thing is when he pulls out a shard blade and his dad's like,
just that moment. Like his mom's like crying and beaming at him, and his dad's just like, oh damn.
Okay, here's the
Damn
thing.
it.
When we like get like at the start of Way of Kings, because like we get Kaladin's like whole backstory, right?
Mhm.
I don't know why, but like I just assumed that like his entire family just like was killed off or whatever. So I was like so happy that oh man, they're actually still alive and they're living not
Yeah.
too far away apparently. And then
Well, I mean, he
as-
literally like
yeah.
flies himself all the way there and then walks the rest of the way. They're still where they were, which is far
yeah,
away from
exactly.
where he was.
Which is like why
In
I
the
was
trip.
like,
We just skipped the
why
trip.
why hasn't he like come back earlier? But like I guess the whole
I mean,
Way of Kings thing
but
happened.
That's explained. Like he literally sent them the letter that was like Tian's dead and I failed, and then he's like, and now I'm just re-enlisting and I'm never going
Yeah.
home because he's like he blames himself for that. Like he thinks if he goes home and faces them, that they're gonna be like, oh, you killed our son. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna think that's his fault, even though that's what he thinks. Obviously, they don't think that, but he's
Yeah,
stupid.
exactly. Yeah.
Very poking holes in that.
Here's the
Honestly,
thing,
yeah.
though, like I loved Lirin so much. I don't know if you guys remember, but I loved him so
remember.
much in Way of Kings.
I remember.
I was a little disappointed by Lirin. Here.
Yes, I will say when you were going off about how great Liren was, all of us who've read the whole Stormlights were like, "Oh, I wonder if that feeling's gonna change."
I was Bree told me very specifically to shut the fuck up, and I was like, okay, I will just sit here.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna change, all right." Yeah.
But Kel has a baby brother.
My God, the moment when he meets his little brother and he's just like weeping, and he was like, you know, like coming back and like seeing my mom and dad and like seeing everything like that didn't break me, but this is like breaking me. And it's like I cry every time I like literally tears pouring down my face every time I read that scene. And he's like, "You, I will protect." I'm just like, no, it hurts me. It hurts me a lot.
I will say Hasina is my favorite. I love her so much.
God, Hasina, I would die for Hasina. She's fabulous. His mom is a good mom.
So
She
good.
doesn't do much in this book though.
She doesn't, but I
She doesn't
still
do
love
much in
her.
this book, but she was there, and so I
Listen,
love her.
listen. I get wildly attached to characters who don't do a lot.
Fair.
I found a new attachment I have to a character who speaks like 3 times in this book, but I'm not going to talk about that because most of that's in like the end. So, but I got real attached to that character. It just happens, you know. But yeah, so Also, like the moment when Kaladin like punches were shown, and then, like immediately realizes like how beneath him that was, and he's like, "Wow, that was stupid. Like I'm so above that now." And it's like I love that he gets that moment because you're like, "Yeah," and then you're like, he's like, "I shouldn't have done that," and you're like, "Also, yeah." It's like
Probably not.
I am also Kaladin, and then I'm like the immature, like, "Yeah, let's punch him," and it's like, "Yeah, you're better than that now." I just like seeing that moment of growth where it's like he just like, "Oh no, I shouldn't have done that."
I like it's not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah. But then he gets to go traveling with some Parshmen, Voidbringers, who are not what he expected. I love that whole section. I love the Parshmen he befriends, Saw and Ken and their little daughter. And it's just, there's so much that happens there when, like, Kaladin's like, I completely understand you because I was also a slave. And he's like, bitch, no, you don't. And he just like goes the fuck off. Like, I love it because like Kaladin thinks he understands. And like, yeah, he's been through some shit, but he's like, they literally enslaved us and like wiped our mind. Like, we didn't have any control over anything. And he's like explaining how like they took his wife away because she was like good breeding stock and like all this stuff. He's like, do you understand that? I'm like, tell him. I love Kaladin, but tell him.
I love how that like directly parallels like so many things in the real world. Like that's
absolutely.
Like, I don't want to use some terms here, but yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. No, like I absolutely love it so much because it's like in that scene you're like, oh, like Kaladin, he's trying, but it's like, no, you do not understand what these people went through.
I'm oppressed too.
And it's like, yeah, sure, but have you seen what I've been through? Because it's a bit different, buddy. And I just like love that. And like I love how Kaladin's like really befriending them and like wanting to help them and seeing their side. And he's like, now I don't know what to do because like these are not like the evil monsters I expected. Like these are people who just want to live their lives and I don't blame them for like I agree with them. And so he's just like kind of still struggling that line of like us versus them. And now he's like on both sides of it and doesn't know what to do. I love that. It's all great.
I think this is also like the first time we really get to like humanize like the Parshendi and the Parshmen.
Yes.
Because like all throughout there've been just like these dumb creatures that like just go around like doing slave stuff, right? Like we really like see like their humanity in this.
Exactly.
I mean, we get point of views before this.
We get point of views of the Parshendi on the shadow, but not the Parshmen, not like the ones that they've enslaved. So it's like because even they're classified as like different breeds or like cousin species, like they're still separated from the POVs that we're seeing them from because they're like, oh, they're clearly like related, but they're completely different because these are like wild animals that are fighting us, and these are just our docile little slave people who just do everything we tell. You know what I mean? It's like this is the first time you really get to see their side of things and like what they went through. Now that they get to be like awake and be people.
I think it was pretty evident, at least in like the previous books, that there was just in the few that were present in the camps and how much trauma they endured and the clear suffering. Like even though they didn't speak much, like those are signs of bottling up after extreme trauma. And I think like even though we didn't get those POVs until now, there's still a humanization in that and like what we're seeing of them through Bridge 4.
Exactly. Then we get the beautiful moment of Kaladin trying to fight a storm. When they're like, all those people are like in the bunker and the high storm's coming, and he's trying to like, he's literally just like picking people up and running and trying to get them in the storm. And like, Syl's like, you can't save everyone. Like, she's like, I'm sorry, but you can't save everyone. He's like, sorry isn't enough. And he just fucking splits the storm. That scene gets me every time. Like, it's just so fucking cool. It's like, what the fuck, Kaladin? I know you can do that. It's like all the wind sprung coming around, and like he just splits the storm and like guides the people through. Also him just like being like, fuck you to the Stormfather. He's like, you could stop this. And he's like, but will I? And he's like, dude, I would kill you if I could.
I feel like he's inadvertently lending more and more and more to like creating this myth of himself. Like even though he doesn't want Kaladin. Even though he doesn't want that attention, he's like doing so many things that everybody is going to be telling stories about.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Do you think that's intentional though?
Unintentionally.
Yeah, he's not doing it on purpose. No way.
I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I think it's being done on purpose.
Oh yeah,
like end. Don't know yet, but
exactly, yeah. Like I agree with that, but no, he himself, I don't think is trying to be this. You know, He's just trying to help people and do what's right. You know, that's his whole deal. Any other thoughts on anything from that section? No.
You know, I always think about that in Way of Kings when he had the chance to leave and then he decided to stay. And I was like, what if he just left?
It'd be a very boring book, Steph.
No, I think about that a lot too, honestly. Like, what if, like, for once, Kaladin, like, just doesn't care?
Yeah,
I
I just
other
wanted
people.
to not care.
But then he wouldn't be Kaladin. Like
exactly. Like
that's
that's the whole arc of his character.
He just cares too much about like everything and everyone.
Like
Yeah, I
even
hope
when
we
he
get-
tries not to, he still does because he does try not to. I mean, he literally almost kills himself in the beginning of Way of Kings, and still was like, one more try. Like, what could it hurt? Because you said that they're already dead. Like, what could it hurt to just do it? Like, he's tried to give up, but he just can't do it.
That's not who he
He's
is.
tried. No, it's not who he is. Okay, so my next topic was the Midnight Mother.
Oh yeah.
The first, like, real glimpse we get of an unmade.
That was weird to me how it felt like she pulled that name out of her ass in the middle of the fight.
Oh, right, because you're like, how does she know this title? Yeah.
Yeah, because there was no lead up to that. Like, the whole scene was very cool, but when she was like, the Midnight Mother, I was like, what?
Well, there's a whole thing when she touches it, when she's like, I know this creature. Like, there's a whole connection thing going on there that's not explained, but it's like, there's a lot of weird shit happening there. Which it still confuses me, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. But yeah, there's just a lot of weird shit going on there. Also, Spence, I like your comment that you put in the doc here, is I still imagine the Unmade as a blob of black glittery goo. Don't ask why, but like, you're not wrong. That's basically what it is, right? Like,
That's also, yeah, basically.
like it's literally like supposed to just like be like black gooey.
I don't know if I
oily
imagine the
looking
glitter,
nonsense.
but
Yeah, I don't
will
imagine
now.
the glitter, but I mean, honestly, like, yeah, spice it up, put some glitter on her. Also, Casey, I like your comment here. You just put, what a monstrous babe.
He's the Midnight Mama. Come on.
The Midnight Mama. No, I like this whole scene was so fucked up to me. Because like obviously you have like the thing's watching her in that scene, when she's telling Pattern the story of the girl who looked up, which love that scene so much, by the way. But and then she follows it and tries to find it, and then like sees that it's like imitating those like murders and all that stuff, all that's happening. But like when they actually get down there and like see the actual fucking whole thing, it's just like so, because it's like it's doing like illusions like she does, except they're all just like black monstrous figures, but it's like they look like them, and she's like, when she touches it and it tries to like, it literally says that it like tries to insert itself, like rip Pattern away and insert itself in that bond. In that line, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but it terrifies me. The fact that this thing was like trying to break her bond with Pattern and like insert itself, I'm like, that sounds bad. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. And then like,
yeah.
we're gonna say the same thing.
Yeah,
when
totally.
she's imagining, like, she's seeing in her head like Pattern's physical form, and she's like clinging to him like in her mind, and like just like holding on to him, and like they're just holding each other, and I'm like so emo about it.
Oh, like before this scene,
Yeah.
my favorite scene has Pattern in, and I think it was like a chapter or two before this one. It was the one where Shallan is like making the play on the stage with the light weaving.
Oh,
And
yes.
like Pattern is so invested. He's like, please tell me what happens next.
Yeah.
I have to know.
The girl who looked
Oh my
up. That's
God.
the story. The
I
girl who
was
looked
so
up.
psyched about that.
Yes, we get a revival of the girl who looked up later on, and it's my favorite part. But we'll come back to that.
If anything happens to Pattern, I'm gonna
I love
scream.
Pattern so much. Pattern's so good.
I think everyone will scream. You will not be alone in your screaming.
No. Honestly, there's very few characters I wouldn't be upset about bad things happening to, which is great since I'm reading the Stormlight Archive and it's nonstop bad things happening to people I love. It's fine. You know, there's one person I'd like some bad stuff to happen to. Can we get on that?
No, probably not.
It's fine. We won't talk about that.
We're not that.
We're not going to talk about that. Anyways, yeah, any other thoughts on like the our first look at an Unmade, the Midnight Mother, all of that nonsense?
Do we know what those like columns with the missing gap actually are at this point?
What columns?
Because you know they were seeing those columns that have like the top and the bottom and the bit in the middle is missing, but then the Midnight Mother was wrapped around one that was like a fucking giant fabrial.
Right, like with the
In the middle?
gemstones. Yeah, she was wrapped around the one full of gemstones.
But like there were loads and loads and loads in Erythru that are just empty.
I don't even remember that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We do not know that yet. We will learn more about it in row.
What is that, like a grapho? What was our grading system for the raffos? I forgot. It's been a whole month, Eli. You made our system and I forgot it.
You'll hear more about it in row.
Okay.
Casey remembers row way better than I do. I know we know more about that in row, but I'm like, I don't know how much I could say. So I was like, I'm not gonna say anything.
Casey has the brain cell today.
Shocking development, but I love it.
Painted myself green. It helps, you know.
It helps. It brings out the brains. It grows it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered another bit. In this bit where they're talking about the inside of Erythru, I still don't know why everything's covered in creme. Because they're like, no storms ever blew through here. No storm has ever seen the inside of Erythru. But then like creme is everywhere. I'm curious about why.
I don't know if I can answer it, so I'm just gonna say Rapho.
Okay.
I don't know if I know that off the top of my head.
Also, Eli, you don't remember the Rapho grading system
that you came up with?
We'll make a new one.
It's in my bullet journal, but it's over there.
Casey wrote it down because, again, she has the brain cell.
I'll post it in the Discord after we're done.
Casey, you put the question here: does anyone care that Sidious is dead? No, good riddance, bye, bitch. So, is that something we want to talk about? Did anybody care about Sidious being dead?
Nah.
No.
It's like, I really don't give a shit. Honestly, we're glad.
Here's the thing. Like, I think I felt a little bad for Eli, like, at the beginning. Because, like, if your husband just... I mean, regardless of, like, how, like, messed up of a person you are, if your husband just, like, dies randomly, that's hard to, like, go through, like, and not know, like, who killed them. So.
Right.
But that was only in the beginning, because Eli turns out to be a turd, too.
Yeah.
I think the way that he killed Sidious is really significant because like he stab him in the eye.
Yeah.
So like the reason that in war so few people die of like blade injuries to the face is that even if someone's your enemy, you don't want to hit someone in the head because you know deep down they're a person. So like removing that, like you know that you are just nothing in that person's eyes if they will go to that level to kill you.
Oh.
I feel like that's a significant thing.
Interesting.
I feel like he was really building up to that.
He was so angry. Yeah.
He was so angry at him throughout the whole thing. And I mean, he did abandon them, so it was very, very personal.
Yeah. My favorite thing from like just flashback to the end of Words Radiance when like that happens was just like Sidious is like alone in a hallway with the best swordsman in like the fucking world who hates you and wants you dead, and you're like, this is all the things I'm going to do to destroy your father. And it's like, bro, maybe you shouldn't say that right now. I don't think it's safe for you to make these threats right now and piss off this guy who wants you to, oh, look, you're dead. Look, oh, you probably shouldn't have done that.
In that moment, he knew he'd fucked up.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's just so funny to me. I'm like, bro, just think about it for a second. Like,
yeah, I mean, like Daniel, like also made like a skit of that.
Like that sketch of that is like my favorite thing. It's so funny because it's so true. Did we have any other thoughts on part one? Because that's all I had for part one.
I don't know where everything happens, but I didn't see this in the notes. But like, Shallan like tries to figure out like who the murderer is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, there's a similar murder that happens like not too far after.
Yeah.
A couple of other interesting bits from part one.
Okay.
This is where we first hear that Rashadium are followed by music spren, which is very strange, and I still can't figure out why. And also, rats confirmed. Like this is where we have like rats and mink. How weird that there are mink. But
I think this is the first book that mentions minks.
It does mention minks
several times. I noticed,
but mink are like bred as rat hunters specifically. So, like, if Erythru is like hundreds of miles of pipes, that would be something that you would bring in deliberately to clear out rats. So I feel like that's like it's something.
It's something. It's
There's
something
happening there.
Something's happening.
Something happening. Mink is the chicken of cats.
What?
That's beautiful. I love it. Thank you for this addition.
I know what you mean. But it does sound like a nonsense sentence.
Like, I know exactly what he means. It makes sense to me. Yeah. Any other thoughts from part 1 before we go into talking about part 2?
No, I don't think so.
Is it in part 1 where Shalon like stabs like her hand?
Yes.
That was in part 1 right
It's
before
so cool.
when she stabbed her own hand through that guy's hand on the table.
Yeah. And the other lady was like, "Oh man, I want to follow this girl."
I know, she's like, "That's such a cool bitch. I want to be her friend." I'm like, "Bro, Shaylin's got some problems. Maybe
my reaction was like, "That seems like not a good plan."
Yeah. Yeah, you get to see so much more of Shaylin, not only like, using illusions, but literally becoming personas. Full stop. It's fine. It's totally fine. There's nothing to worry about. It's totally fine. It's chill.
This is the book where she just goes fully insane.
Yeah, because like in Words of Radiance is when she first
mind.
starts doing like the illusions, and she first like not like becomes Veil, but like puts Veil on.
Creates Veil.
And she's still Shaylin underneath Veil. But this is the book where it's like Veil is her own person, and then she also creates Radiant, and it's fine. It's totally fine. She's totally fine. Don't worry.
I like how Patton is really concerned.
Yeah.
Like every time she goes like one step too far, he's like, "Shallan," and she's like, "No, I'm Veil." He's like,
He's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Oh, the moment that Brie and I love in part 1, which is so small, but is the Adolan Gallant bros moment where they're just being bros out on the field.
Yes.
They're just bonding, and I just love it so much.
When he's hanging out with the horse.
Yeah.
And it's like so cute because he misses his Rashadium, so he's hanging out with Dalinar's horse, and it's just like, it's so cute. I love it.
I think that was my last part 1 thing.
All right. So the first thing I had for part 2 was Bridge 4, because we get so many Bridge 4 POVs in this part.
Yes.
We get to really get in the head of a bunch of bridgemen. You get less Kaladin specifically in this part, but you get so many bridgemen, and it's beautiful. So
I thought I wouldn't like it, but I did.
It's good. It's so good. It's so good. I cry about it. Listen. I love them all so much. Like, you get the one with Rock when he's just like cooking and they're all out there doing their thing, and he's like, "I'm just gonna make a little meal here," and like he's just kind of having like little chats with like each of them individually and just kind of nudging everybody to like cheer them up and like make them feel better. And I'm like, Rock, look at you doing all the work.
When do we get Rock's family?
That's in this part.
The ginger
Yeah.
wrestlers.
That's in that same POV. It's like at the end of that POV, because he keeps like looking out on the plains and he's like, "I'm just gonna keep working on my food, but I'm gonna keep looking." And yeah, his fucking family is so I love them so much.
The ginger wrestlers. That's just how I imagine them.
What?
They're like the Crudes.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Exactly.
There
No,
were
but like that-
two bits in the Bridge 4 POV where I was like interested with a capital I.
Okay, what were they?
The first bit was where one of the gang, I can't remember who it was, but they say his nails are like carapace.
That's Lopin.
Are they like carapace because way back he's like his bloodline mixed with Parshendi or something?
I don't know that this is ever stated in the text, but we do have WOBs on this, so I can answer that for you now, because I don't think it's stated in the text. But yes, there is Parshendi heritage with both with Horn Eaters and with Herdazians.
I guess
So
with the Horn
Herdazians-
Eaters, because
the
when he's
Herdazians-
making the soup,
Yeah.
it's like he's stirring to a tune he can almost hear.
Yes, that's one of your big hints that, because like before people had guessed, because they can fucking eat shells and they can drink like crazy fucking ale that like other people cannot drink and stuff. Yeah, they've got a lot going on in their mouths. I think they have like more teeth. And then the Herdazians have like literally like carapace nails, and that's like one of the defining traits of Herdazians, which is Lopin, is the Herdazian, or Herdazian, however you say it. And both of them have mixed heritage with the Persian, which I don't think has been confirmed in text, but we've had confirmation.
No, I don't
Yeah, the Rock. There's like, I think more than one time when it's mentioned that like he just almost kind of can hear a rhythm, and it's like, "Oh, I see you, I see you." So yeah, it's like it's just mixed in their heritage.
big props to the first person that looked at a Parshendi and was like,
Right? Like, I'll take some of that. Listen, they got the pretty swirly skin, you know?
they got that hot crab ass.
I gotta tweet that. 1 second. Haven't had a good out of context cosmere tweet in a hot minute. Smash, you can follow that account now.
It's true.
You're fully
It's
cosmere
literal
aware.
nonsense. The other
So
thing
funny.
though,
I feel like I would just hurt myself if I got together with a person.
Hot, did you say hot crab ass? Oh my god.
yeah,
Every time I go to tweet something, I immediately forget how it was phrased. Oh my god, Eli. Sorry.
Eli, yes.
Yes.
I normally try not to check my phone. I'm putting this on Do Not Disturb. Okay.
Okay.
What
Sorry, I
were we
tweeted
talking
this.
about?
We're good.
Bridge 4.
Yeah, we're talking about Bridge 4. You said was there another thing, or was it just Carapace nails?
Oh, it was the nails and the listening to the
Okay, so
music.
that was those both things. Yeah, that's just confirmation for you. So yeah, we see meet Rock's family. First of all, when he meets like the littlest one and she doesn't remember him, it breaks my heart. It's like the saddest thing ever. I did not know he had that many children. He's like, this is this one, and 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 this is this one. I'm like, bro, you've been busy.
I mean,
love it.
technically, that kind of happens twice. That scene in 2 places in this book, right? I think between him and then between Dalinar. I remember that correctly.
What do you mean?
With in one of the flashbacks with Renarin.
Oh yeah, when Dalinar like meets Renarin is how we say it here in this house. I'm just kidding.
Renarin.
Casey really hates Renarin. It gave us
I
whiplash
do.
the first time we ever heard it because it was in person, and it was like, what? It's one of the names we didn't know people could say more than one way until we heard it. And was like, oh, okay.
One of the sharders, like the shardcaster, says it a different way, and then we were talking to them, and they went Renarin, and I was like, I physically like flinched back. I was like,
We were at a thing in a group like talking to them, and they said it, and me and Casey both looked at each other like, we didn't say nothing, but we were like, did you hear that? I didn't know people could say it like that.
like most of them, I don't,
Like,
I don't
literally one of
like.
those ones that you've like just never even considered that could be said
No.
another way, and then you hear it, and it's like, oh my god.
Most of them,
what?
I don't care about. Like you can say
That
whatever
one
you
Casey
want,
has
but that
like
one
a
I care
visceral
about.
hatred of.
I don't know why.
It doesn't actually bother me as much, but it's just yeah. Anyways,
He's
what
one
was
of
I
my
saying? Yeah,
favorite
no, when Dalinar in the flashback, when Dalinar like meets Renarin, and he's like, "Oh, I was expecting like a wee babe, and he's like a whole ass toddler now. He's walking. You haven't seen him in forever." Yeah.
Those 2 scenes hurt my heart.
Yep. Yeah. One hurts me for Rock, and one hurts me for Renarin. Dalinar. Anyways, see, and then we get to see Scar, one of the bridgemen, is having trouble with like being radiant, but he's the one who's kind of like getting other people to like push through and get the Stormlight to work, and he's having so much trouble with it. And he's like, I guess this is like my lot in life. It's just I'll help everyone else. And then like when he has that like acceptance of the fact that like he might not be able to do it, he starts glowing, and I was like, babe, yes.
Look, Scar and Drahe are like up there.
Scar and
And my
Drahe.
favorite. So good.
I would die for all of, well, yeah, all of Bridge 4 at this point. But they're like in the top. I love them so much. I really do.
They're such a dynamic duo. They're always together.
Yeah, and then there's like we get the Renarin point of view when he's like, I'm so different. I'm just so different. And Rock's like, have you seen that parchment over there? Have you seen R'laine? And he's like, oh shit, he's different too.
Renarin, like, I'm not like other girls.
I know. He's like, I'm the weirdest one. He's like, bro, that guy's like half crab. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, you're not a crab. You're just a light ice. It's fine.
And they go and sit together.
No. And then we get like the R'laine point of view when he's also like having that frustration of like, he's like Bridge 4 trying to like always kind of like forgetting him, but then like trying to like, they're trying their best, but their best is not really great. But he's like understanding that he's like, well, they're trying, they're trying to include me. They just tend to forget I'm here, and they tend to, But then like you have that moment when he's talking to Kaladin, and Kaladin's like trying. He doesn't understand. He's like, he tells him that he understands, and R'laine's like, no, you don't. And he's like, you're right. I don't understand. Can you explain it to me? And R'laine's like, okay, I'll try. And like just that moment of Kaladin being like, you're right. I do not understand like what you're going through. Let's sit down and talk. Like explain it to me. And in just that moment, I'm like. I love it so much. I would die for Kaladin. There's no one better than Kaladin.
I just want more Relaine point of views. That's all.
Honestly, I love him so much.
He's such an interesting character.
Yes. Oof. Any other thoughts about like all the Bridge Force stuff in this part?
They're just all good eggs. Like I don't hate.
They
Well,
are all good eggs. Yeah.
there's only one that I hate, and he's not Bridge 4 anymore.
He's not Bridge Force, but that's the thing. I mean, I was like, well, all of, and I was like, all right, he's not even there anymore, so I can say all of them.
Yeah.
There's only one person I hate the most in the cosmere. We all know who it is.
I've got written in my notes that chapter 38 was a fat info dump, but I can't remember which chapter 38 was. But I remember reading it, and I was like, oh my god.
It is Broken People. My favorite chapter, and possibly all the cosmere.
Super funny.
It's the one where they're in the flashback of the heralds like abandoning their blades, and he's brought Jasmine and Navani in, and so he's like releasing them into it to like let them go on and talk about stuff, but the Stormfather's also answering questions. And it's just like
giving useful information for once, and we're like, you just know all this stuff, and you just now thought to tell people. I fucking love him, honestly. Yeah, there's literally like all of my highlights in this chapter. It's like all caps. It's just Stormfather being like,
There's
here's
so
some
much information. Yeah,
here's
I love
some
that chapter.
Yeah, it's really good. It's just so many highlights in there. Yeah, no, that is a lot of info dumping because it's like the Stormfather finally decided to talk about all the shit he fucking knows for once.
Here's the thing. I think like for all of Oath. Oh, go ahead, Steph.
Oh no, I was saying put a pin on that because that's one of my complaints for later.
Oh yeah. We can talk about that now because like I think one of my biggest complaints with like Oathbringer is like the pacing and like how much information is dumped at you. It's just way too much. I mean, maybe I just have a small brain and like can't handle everything, but like it was just so much. It was too much for me. Like there's just so many things that are revealed or like explained in Oathbringer.
That, but like that's how stories work. You gotta reveal and explain.
No, but like it's I don't know. It's like I feel like Brandon Sanderson expected like everyone who would read Stormlight Archive to be just like super like smart. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb, but like it was just a lot.
I'm a pretty dumb bitch, and I don't think there's too much like over explaining in this book. Because the thing is, there's so much stuff you don't know in book 1 and book 2. Like, there's so much stuff your characters don't know about their own fucking history and their own world that you got to start putting that in. You got to start learning that. And we're in book 3 of a 10-book series. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense to start getting those answers here. Hello, Josh. Welcome to the party.
I do think there were like a few pacing issues, though. Yeah.
Right? Like, would you rather he just didn't give you any information? I don't.
I mean, it would be nice, but like... It could have been stretched out more. I mean, it is a 10-book series.
It's a 10-book series, bro. There's so much more information to come. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. That's why.
Honestly, I struggle with the pacing too a lot, and it kind of feels like when you play a video game and you know every time you get an achievement unlocked that there's gonna be like you've unlocked this information, found a document, or like whatever. It just feels like very formulaic at this point, especially with flashbacks. I'm like, okay, flashback, info dump. Oh, you know this now? Here's a special being that's going to tell you all this information. You go on a quest.
Thank you.
Flashback. You've unlocked something. Here's more information that we've had the whole time. I'm just like... I don't know. I think it goes back to what I was saying before about the other books, where it's like I would have liked the interludes to be their own separate book, because it just feels like it's dragging at this point. And I'm just... Oh my god.
I don't agree with that. I do agree that Oathbringer is the most dense of the books. Like, I don't disagree with that. Like, it is the most dense, in my opinion. It's not my favorite of the 3, I will say. It's my least favorite flashbacks of the, well, maybe not now. They were on the first read. I will say they were on a first read. I didn't enjoy the flashbacks very much. Just because I hate young Dalinar. I hate him. I love Dalinar. Hate young Dalinar. I was like, I would fist fight that, bro. But I love old Dalinar, so it's just like, it's rough.
I feel like it was so important to see him younger. Like, it made me love him more.
Yeah, I appreciate it way more on rereads too. It was so rough because like I love Dalinar so much, and he's like this just great, honorable man, and getting to see like where he started. Like it's important and it's good but I hated it.
It's rough
I think
to
he's
read.
the same person though.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think he
rough to read.
changed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying he's not the same person, but it just
definitely changed.
No, he definitely changed. I mean, yeah, I love but it is the same person. But he's definitely changed.
I think this is the first.
There's some things that I want to say, but like we can't talk about it yet.
Right, and she'd be like, "I can't wait for everyone to be wrong." I know, I've got opinions too.
You know why I don't think he's changed enough, because now that the difference between Navani and his ex-wife, which I won't talk about spoilers, but that Navani is going with his agenda. So technically, I feel like he's still in a way the same.
I feel like initially though he was going with Navani's agenda.
Right, but they're parallel. Their agendas are parallel.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that a bad thing? I think it's a good thing.
I know. I was like, I don't understand.
So you mean like if her agenda wasn't parallel to his, he may still have acted the same way as he did back then.
Right.
Oh, I disagree.
I don't know.
Because I don't think we've got enough evidence to prove otherwise. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't regret it, but I don't know that he fully understood the difference, because we'll get to that later. I don't think
I think you're trying
to talk around. Yeah, like we'll dive into more of this when we get to the very end and talk about because there's stuff at the end. Yeah.
In the last one though, I think he was really starting to change as a person before she even came on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what I think about Dallin. I think he's like, I don't think he's changed.
I love that.
Disagree
Here's what I think about Dallin.
Spence like, listen up, bitch.
No, I disagree with what Steph said, which is like, I don't think he's changed enough, is what you said, right? I think he has changed enough at this point. Mm-hmm. He could be better.
Oh, yeah.
But like, that's the thing I love about Dalinar. Like, I don't love him as a person, but I love him as a character. Because like, he's just like super imperfect. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, no, that's exactly why I love him, because he's super imperfect.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, he's trying his best to be this honorable man, but he is absolutely super flawed, and we're learning even more how flawed he is and like all of the mistakes he's made.
Yeah.
Because you don't know any of this when you first meet him. You just see this man who's just trying his best and having crazy visions. You know, it's like it's a bit of a whiplash, but
okay.
What were we talking about before we got on the dock?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I still in my doc. I'm still on the Bridge 4 stuff, so I think we just got out of that, but are still in the same area of talking.
Oh, we were talking about broken people. The broken people.
Oh, that chapter. Right. Okay.
Everything.
And then we got talking about info. Okay, we did a whole tangent. I was like, gotta backtrack. Where were we? My brain. Whew. All right. Anything else?
Odium.
Yeah, Odium was my next topic because we get to meet Odium in a vision. In this part, we get to actually meet him as a whole ass thing, a whole ass person ish.
Oh, I have notes on this vision.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, let's dive on in. You kick us off then.
It's nice to hear that canonically Dalinar has a nice bum. That's good to know.
The fandom was very happy about that.
Yep,
Yes,
I'm sure they were. I was also thinking, so I got on like a huge tangent about red hair.
Yes, I remember
Yes,
this.
I recall.
Am I just like so wrong?
Yes.
With that? There's
Yeah.
no connection at all. Okay.
No.
What else? My other note was if they can trap Sprens inside gems, I wonder if the realm damnation isn't inside of a huge super complex fabrial.
Oh, that's an interesting theory. I'll raffle you.
Would that mean that damnation is the Matrix?
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that checks out. That kind of checks out. That we know of. Eli, don't. Wow.
Don't raffle us.
That's great.
Oh, and the way that Odium reacted to Lift was really interesting.
Bitch
So,
was
clearly she has like some kind of strong tie to cultivation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, her Spren
is cultivation.
The Spren's a cultivation Spren,
yeah. But yeah, there's more going on there than would be going on with like another edge dancer, just randomly.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Oh
I
yeah.
did not know.
There's more going on there, which I don't know how explicit any of that is in text. I always forget. I can never remember.
The way that Odium was just like blah 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 blah, and then he was like so shook instantly.
He's like, what was that? I gotta go. Bye. And Lift was like, man, that boy is creepy. I love her so much.
I don't like Lift, but okay.
You're wrong.
You don't like Lift?
Exactly.
Why? What's your beef
Spence
with Lift?
disappointed us so much because Casey and I were like so sure Spence was gonna love Lift because Lift is a ray of sunshine.
Lift is cool.
Lift is great.
Lift
Thank
is
you.
She's
annoying
like
as
pure
hell.
chaos.
Thank you,
Pure
Max.
Pure
Thank
chaos.
you.
Exactly.
Your
That's what we love
chaos,
about it.
gremlin child is all I've
Steph?
ever needed.
When you read Edge Dancer, you have to hate Lift with me.
Okay.
Well, if you don't,
Required.
do you hate Lift now? Because I don't think going back and reading Edge Dancer will make you like her
I
more
mean,
or less. It'll probably just be where your being is now.
I'm kind of neutral on Lyft. Like, they're not
Okay.
my favorite, but I don't hate them either. I'm just like, meh,
Alright.
they're there.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, I mean, I hate her a little more, but like, I just feel mad about Lift. Like, she's like so unimpressive. Like,
Wow.
13-year-old child.
Literally. She's so
Literally.
impressive. Oh my god. First of all.
awesomeness, blah blah blah, slidey, blah blah blah,
consider-
pancakes, blah blah blah.
It's like an adult man, like, yo, fuck that kid.
Like literally, okay. The reason I get so defensive about Lyft is like if it was just like one random person who's like, like I'd been fine. But there's so many of those like Reddit dude, like bros, you know what I mean? Like the Reddit bros who don't like Lyft simply because it's a child. You know what I mean? It's like they don't. It's nothing besides the fact that she's a child and she acts like a child. That's like the whole reason. And I'm like, yeah, you cannot like her, but like that's what she's supposed to be because she's a fucking child. So maybe come up with other reasons to care, you know what I mean, or not care. It just annoys me, and it's always like the Reddit dude bros. It's always them, and I'm so I know. It's like now I'm like extra defensive.
So sad.
I'm not a Reddit bro.
We don't think you're a Reddit bro. I promise.
Oh, did you? And I'm not gonna answer your other thing because we're not gonna put that on the screen. Because Max will learn some more things soon. Yeah. There's clearly already things different about Lyft that you should have picked up on, like the way that her Stormlight works is different from everybody else's.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, she's got different things going on, and we'll talk about that next month. Because
wait, is one of them the fact that she like eats like her food is like how she uses
yeah, like she doesn't get she doesn't get a Stormlight from Stormlight. She gets it from food.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Lift tangent. What else?
Where are? Oh, we're talking about Odium, right? Okay, that's why we had lift tangent. All right.
Okay, I have random things for this part. There's like this part is also when we find out that the library, the knowledge is stored like in the gemstones, which is just like every time I read it, I'm like, they were so smart.
They were so much smarter than the people we have now.
with the gemstones and like with some of the epigraphs being gemstone storage stuff.
Yeah.
Is it relevant what kind of gemstone it is on each epigraph?
I don't know.
Because
I feel like I know the answer to that, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I feel like I know if that's a yes or no, but I don't know right now. Is what I meant to say. I don't remember. Eli, do you know?
Like,
Eli,
can you put anything in any gem, or do you need a specific gem for specific information? You know what I mean?
I feel like it has to be relevant because it's Sanderson.
Isn't that answered in the end of the book? It has a chart or something.
Was that listed in the Ars Arcanum stuff?
I think it is.
It might have been in the Ars Arcanum. Okay.
I believe there's a direct correlation with radiant order.
Okay, that makes sense.
About
Eli is like, I missed the question. Sorry, Eli. What are you doing? You're supposed to be the other part of my brain right now. It's because mine's not working. I need you to fill in the gaps, buddy. But yeah, the gemstone stuff is really cool.
Where are my other random comments?
We're gonna go to Kolinar now.
No, hold on. I have one more random comment. Oh, when it's such a little thing, but when we're in Jasmine's point of view, and Ivory points out that Shaylin is more unstable than most humans. Every time I read that, I'm like, I'm glad someone has noticed.
Glad someone's noticed. I had no idea.
And then for the interludes that are like between this part and the next part, it's the Kaza one where she like.
Oh yeah, the Soulcaster.
The Soulcaster. I don't know why I love this interlude so much, but it's so good. It's the one where she turns herself into smoke.
Oh, was this the interlude where we saw more Oogie Boogies?
Yes.
Oogie
We saw more
Boogies.
Sleepless.
Okay, well, I didn't know you called them Oogie Boogies, so I was like, what the fuck is an Oogie Boogie?
I think he used it last month.
Do you think I remember last month, Casey? Last live show was the first week of NaNoWriMo. You think I remember that?
Well, that's true. That's fair.
Casey, I thought I remember shit. God. Anyways, Eli came in with this about the gemstones.
Good to know.
So, thank you, Eli.
Thank you for your powers.
Thank you for your power.
Oh, we also get a Taravangian interlude.
Oh yeah,
chunk.
good old Mr. T. Yeah, I didn't put anything about the interludes in here because I just kind of breezed through them on listening, and I was like, I can't remember which ones were where when I was making my doc. So
I had to bring up Kaza. I love fucking Kaza.
yeah, that interlude with the soulcaster lady who's soulcasting stuff while they're trying to get to the creepy island, and then she's just soulcasts herself into smoke as she's dying of poison. Super fucking cool, and also crab people. Love a good crab people.
There's also the Taravangian thing where he's just...
Is that the one where he's like the smart one?
I don't remember.
I
only have one quote from it.
What was the quote?
Oh, it's just that the diagram hadn't seen the effects of the second son Renard would have. He was a completely wild element. And I just love that, like, direct quote.
I think that's the interlude where he's like has the smarts.
He has the smarts. He's like,
Is that
bring me a paper and also murder those children.
There's the one where he's like, murder the children, and they're like, I think you're a little too smart today, sir, because you don't have any compassion. Yeah, no, his whole thing is fucking wild.
Wait, do we know why Taravangian has like differing?
Yes, it's been stated because he went to Casey.
I gave him these powers.
A boon and a curse.
Oh, really?
A boon and a curse.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the last book, I think.
Yeah, it's explained. Like you don't see it, but it's explained that he went to the Night Watcher. I don't know if where in the series it explains like what he asked for. It should have, at least in this book, it should have mentioned it. By the end of this book, it should have mentioned it, but I don't remember where at. But yeah, it's his boon and his curse. So it's like that's why some days he has like low intelligence, and some days he has low intelligence but more compassion, and then other days he has high intelligence but less compassion, but never at the same time. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
So what exactly is cultivation's power?
Cultivation. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that because Max did not get there, which I almost forgot about. But you should know by now what cultivation is. You should know. But we'll go into that at the end. Okay. Everybody remember what we're supposed to go into at the end because I'm not going to remember by the time we get there.
I think that was all of my comments.
All we had. So the next, so now we had part 3. So yeah, well, now we're field trip to Kolinar. We're in Kolinar. I love Spenz's whole note here was just here I went from fuck Mosh to fucking Mosh. Literally. I hate him so much. But yeah, so much happens in Kolinar before we get to the end of Kolinar, in which I hate him so much.
So much happens in Kolinar. Like
so much happens.
Just everything like Shallan, like the Adolin like meeting his tailor again.
I love how he's like, I'll take us someplace safe. Meet my tailors. I love him so much. He's the purest, most beautiful boy. My lights are coming off.
And like Shallan like trying to like get into Aesidon's palace.
Yes. Then, when she goes in and she just gets fucking stabbed and she's like, oh, this is super chill. Gotta play dead now. Yeah. It's fair. It's chill. It's fine. It's totally fine.
And like
Kolinar is always very chill.
Yeah.
The wall guard is it what it's called?
Yeah, Kaladin joins the wall guard like accidentally. They're like, "Are you a deserter? You want to come hang out with us?" And he's like, okay."
Sure.
And also, it's like super interesting because like Shaylin put an illusion on his brands, but it didn't work. So just a fun thing to notice there because no one else's illusions fell off. They are very stressful. Literally, every time I read like the buildup of the end of that section, it feels like the end of its own book. It's like so fucking intense. It's just so much happens So much.
This is also the part where Shallan like tries to like give out like the
she
food,
goes on
right?
her little mission and gives out food because she's trying to get the attention.
And everyone's like, yeah, actually,
the
we
cult
hate
of
you for it.
moments. Yeah, she's trying to get the attention of the cult of moments, but also she's like, oh, here's something I can do to like make a difference. You know, this is what Vale can do. While Shaylin does like the politicking, I can go out in the streets and do this. And then she learns that she actually just ruined everyone's lives. And then you have that moment when she's just breaking down in like that little like hovel, and Wit finds her. And then they redo the story of the girl who looked up, and it's the girl who stood up, and it's the best thing ever. And I cry every time I read it. There's that line when he's like, accept the pain, but don't accept that you deserved it. Like that.
Ooh, yeah.
Fucking hit like Wit. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's the best therapy on Roshar. I just every time he tells a story, it just puts life in me.
So good.
We'll say that the conversations between Wit and Shallan were some of my best.
It's
favorite.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like there's those multiple times, and also like the fact that he recognizes her when she's like in her veil. I'm gonna say her veil cosplay.
No, that was me.
Yeah, that was you when she's dressed as Vale, and he's like telling the story of the moons, and she's like, he totally recognized me, but I've got an illusion on. And it's like, we just don't go into that. And then she's like, is he light weaving? What's he doing? And there's like, he's just got a lot going on, baby.
I do wonder if there's like.
All right, you had a question in the Discord about this, right? Something relating
probably.
to that. Because you asked something about the sand in his jar. And you did not read White Sand, so I can go ahead and tell you that yes, it's relevant, and it's because of White Sand. It's a White Sand thing. When his jar turns from like white sand to black sand, what that means is basically
The investiture is used.
Basically, yeah. It's basically his like little alarm to show him that someone is using investiture nearby.
Was that let him know about Shallan?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It's basically like when you're using investiture, the sand changes.
Okay.
This is also the sand
A
that he
funky
used in
dude.
Warbreaker.
Yeah, he also had sand when he's telling his story in Warbreaker, but that's like less on the nose. You don't know shit at that point. So it's like you don't know.
I have like so many questions about Hoyd at this point.
Don't
Like,
we all do, Max.
We all do.
I want you to know, we will eventually get a whole ass Hoyd backstory, and you want to know when we get it? We get it after book 10 of Stormlight Archive. We don't get it till the very fucking end of Cosmere.
So
Nice.
in 2041.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
something like that.
I just want to know.
So we'll all have gray hair by then.
Yeah.
I already have gray hair.
We have here too.
I want to know like how he was affecting Shallan's light weaving, because it seemed like he was doing things to it
When
he was telling her the girl who stood up story. Right.
Okay.
It felt like he was affecting her light weaving.
Yeah, there's stuff going on there.
I feel like I wonder if there's another reason beyond like they keep meeting that he seems to have this weird connection with Shallan. Is it just like a recurring crossing of?
I'm just kidding.
Is it like a recurring crossing of paths that like keeps forging their
Good
relationship, or is there something else that he's like maybe she reminds him of someone in his past, something
Well, we
like
don't
that?
know. I'll tell you right now, if it's about his past, we don't know
We
the
don't
answer to
know.
that.
I feel
now.
like there must be another reason, because there are so many other people he hasn't formed an attachment to.
Yeah, like
I'm
there
like
is
there
a
must be
connection there with
something
Jake.
else with Shallan.
Maybe he just
Yeah.
has a thing for Radiance, because he also runs into Caladan quite a bit.
That's true. Like he does have some Kaladin moments.
They are both.
Although
the
like
places a lot.
he's known like Shallan like since
Yeah.
she was like little, so that's different. Yeah.
That's true. The first time he met her was when she was a wee child.
Mhm,
But I
good
will say,
question.
like, he has that line to Shaylin where he literally is trying to explain to her. He's like, oh, like, I know where I need to be. I don't know why, but sometimes I just need to be placed. And he's like, and I'm not here for you. Like, this isn't why I'm here, but I don't know why I'm here. We can't talk
He's
about that.
just
That's
Mary Poppins.
the end of I mean, honestly, yeah,
I was
Hoyd
gonna
is
say
the
the
Mary
doctor.
Poppins of the Cosmere. Also that. Yeah.
What else?
Oh, do we? Okay. Eli's gonna see if he can find a wob.
It's an interesting
Because
question. I don't know what the answer is.
you know enough to
To
notice
this
her.
one, there's this little thing called fortune. He has some of that. We don't know much about Hoyd, okay? Like, even us Cosmere folks don't know nearly enough. We want to know more. But But yeah, like he knows enough to know when he needs to be somewhere, but he might not know why he needs to be there. Like he literally tells Shaylin that like straight out. So like I can say that. Like he's like, I don't know why I need to be here, but I need to be here. And that's why a lot of times he ends up in a place and you're like, what's he doing here? And it might not be for like the plot reasons you're reading. He might just be doing background shit, but he just happens to be there. And he straight up tells Shaylin, he's like, yeah, I'm not here for you. Well, I don't know why I'm here. But
yeah, but like
we figure out why at the end of the book. You'll figure it out soon, Max. We can't talk about it yet.
Okay, are we gonna address the elephant in the room? Because I hate Moesh for killing Elokar.
Okay. First of all, can we backtrack and talk about the fact that I hated Moesh since the Way of Kings, and then everybody gets on my train. Well, not everybody. There are Moesh apologists, and I don't like them. But most people get on my train at this book. But I hated him since book 1. I want to flex because I love that. I've always hated him, and I was right to do so. I never liked Moesh.
I wasn't keen on him since the point where he was trying to press gang Kaladin into like doing his agenda. I was like, man, like back down.
Right.
Yeah, he's pushy.
He's not. I hate him. I hate him so much. And that whole scene, like obviously, first of all, you have the scene when like they go in and they find Elokar's wife, and it's like, what the fuck is going on with this bitch? And then you see his poor little son is just like being tormented by weird void sprint. And then you have that moment when Kaladin like kills one and Syl's like, did we just kill a sprint? And he's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's totally chill.
So much is happening there.
You have that moment when Kaladin's like, you have to save the one you can, because like he has to leave. Isidun, or whatever the fuck you say her name, she doesn't matter. His wife.
I loved her though. I mean,
that wasn't really her. We never really
I know, but like I felt bad that she like was possessed or whatever.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of stuff going on there that was not her fault, obviously. But I don't think she was probably that great to begin with, since that did happen. Just gonna put it out there. But
that's true.
Yeah, you have that moment, and they're rushing out, and then of course Kaladin's like ready for the fucking fight. He has that moment. He's like, all right, let's go. And then the people who come in are like the fucking parshmen he was friends with.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no. And then his wall guard buddies start fighting his parshman buddies, and it fucking breaks him. Like he can't, he just like drops his spear, and he's like, I can't do it. Like, stop. Everybody stay. He's just sitting there in the middle of this fight screaming, stop killing each other. And I'm like, bro, that's not gonna fix it. But it's like, it just completely ruins him. And then of course, Moesh strolls in, sees Elokar on the ground, looking at a picture that Shaylin drew of him, looking all nice and kingly, and he's swearing his ideals. He's about to finish. He's already glowing, and then he kills him, and I died. I love Elokar so much, you guys. Like, I've loved Elokar since book 1. Just like I hate him since book 1. Elokar is like such a cheesy, no, he's not a good king, but he's funny, and I love him. And it hurts me so much, because like he was on such a good road. Also,
I know
how many people did not know that he was in the process of bonding a friend. Like, did anybody not like was anybody surprised by that he was already in the process of bonding his friend? Because it's hinted at since Way of Kings.
Oh really? Wow.
Oh yes, it's hinted at since Way of Kings, and I knew. So this is another reason why I loved him since Way of Kings, because I was like, he gonna be a Radiant. He gonna be my Radiant king. I was so excited for Radiant Elokar. It hurts me.
Listen, the fact that like their people out.
Listen, yeah, there are so many instances throughout Way of Kings and Words of Radiance where Elokar mentions, first of all, there's like, he talks about seeing weird shapes of things in the mirrors and things out of the corners of his eye. And he's like, and people are like, he's just paranoid about assassins. But he's like, and then he literally says to Kaladin, like, oh, when you're around, they go away, because cryptics and honor sprint don't like each other. So yeah, no, he was going to bond a cryptic. And then he died, and I'm so upset about it. But yeah, the hints for him, he was literally in the process of bonding since Way of Kings.
I just hate the fact that, well, aside from it's just so rude to kill Elokar, the fact that Elokar was holding his child.
I know!
Like,
let me just kill this man in front of his little boy, and just like nudge his little boy across the room. And then of course, yeah, like some like attendants of the queens like take the kid and run off. And so like we lose the city, we lose the fight, we lose Elokar, we lose the baby, and then we can't get through the Oath Gate. Like, so much is happening. It's like, oh, like that moment when Adolin realizes like the city is lost. Like, he just looks out and he's like, there's no way. Like, he's like, even if we brought our armies in now, like before he realized the Oath Gate wasn't gonna work, he's like, there's no way, we just gotta go. We gotta get as many people out as we can, we gotta go. And then of course they can't use the fucking Oath Gate. They can't get anybody out. Most drop kings. I guess this is one of my favorite things. is that there are a lot of people who don't like Moshe, and like they're like, he kicked a baby, and I'm like, that's why you don't like Moshe, because first of all, he didn't kick the baby, he did not like punt this baby across the room, but people will like overextend like what happened there. It's like he just nudges the kid, like that's it's really funny. There's like people already who's like, he kicked a baby across the room. Okay, that's okay, Eli. We don't need all answers. But yeah, so much.
I'm just too busy suffering for Paladin to care about.
Paladin's having a time in that moment, so that's
he's
fair.
having such a time. He's literally just like lost it, and like he's like catatonic. Like Adolin has to draw him out. And also, just, like, props to Adolin being the one who's like, okay, grieve later. Like he sees Alucard, he's like, grieve later. We gotta get out. Like he's in control, keeping them going. I don't know why y'all don't like Adolin. He's the best boy. The best boy.
Steph's just like, nah.
I mean, so much happens in Kolinar. We just.
I want Gavinor and Kaladin's brother to be friends. Have they met yet? I don't think they have.
No.
No, they probably won't meet in canon.
Oh.
Yeah, the fact that also that Moshe does the Bridge 4 salute right after he kills Alucard is like such a fucking slap in the face. It's like, bitch, you are not Bridge 4 anymore. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Also, yeah, like I didn't talk about any of the Moshe POVs because I don't care about them at all. But we get a lot of Moshe POVs in this whole section of the book when he's just on his little journey of, oh yeah, people do suck and we should be slaves to the Voidbringers because everybody's terrible and we all want to die now. Like he's just, I hate him. He's so I hate his POVs. So like they're so short, but I hate them so much.
They're so short.
I don't care. I hate him. Also, we did meet a fun person while in Kolinar who comes with us into Goodhard's Shadesmar field trip. Any thoughts on Azure?
I called it.
I don't think
did everybody figure out anything about Azure while reading about Azure?
I'm still processing this. From this point on, I'm still processing.
Okay.
Azure, the name is kind of a giveaway. Kind of, not.
I'm pretty
There's
sure
giveaways, yeah.
she's got royal blood from Nalthis because her hair changes color when she goes into Shadesmar.
I will say there are more hints to things past the point where Max is, so we won't say what we know.
Is that an Elantris reference?
No.
To Warbreaker.
But we'll talk about that at the end because there is more giveaway that Max has not gotten to yet.
But can we just say who it is?
No, we're not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll do it at the end.
Wait, I have a question. Is it related to the other reference that comes later on?
Later on, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay.
Later on. Okay, hang on. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, we'll circle back to her. She's in the main.
So Max isn't over with Shadesmar yet?
No, Max is still at the end of Shadesmar.
This book for me was so slow until they hit Shadesmar, and then my brain was like, "Oh, I'm interested now." Like the first 3/4 of this book, I was like, "Okay, it's pretty good." But then they used the Oath Gate and it fucked up, and I was like, "Okay, this is really cool now."
There's so much of the politicking with trying to form the coalition and stuff like that that's going on. That it is slower plots with Dalinar and the other people. But the Kolinar stuff didn't feel slow to me. But it's the end of Kolinar is oh god, it's happening, and you're like, I'm only at the end of part 3. What? There's so much book left, and this feels
Is this the part where Spence, you thought this was the Sanderlanche at the end of the book when we were in Kolinar?
Okay, no, actually, when Spence did that was for Words of Radiance, and it was when Zeth and he's is this the Sanderlanche? And I'm like, bro, you're on chapter 30. Get out of here. Oh yeah, okay, so another thing about this, we did not talk about the other unmade that we meet at the Oathgate.
That's true.
Sha-Not.
Yeah, we meet Sha-Not and Ashert Marn, which is the heart of the revel, the one that's just making everybody be super gluttonous and terrible. And Sha-Not, who talks to Shaylin in a mirror, super chill. And she's like, I am not your enemy. That's how she sounds in the graphic audio. I am not your enemy. I liked her voice a lot. I was like, that's interesting.
Anybody that says I am not your enemy is kind of sus.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, she's like, I'll try not to kill you, and then sends them to Shadesmar. So she didn't kill them. So, points to her, but they didn't get to go where they were trying to go, so. Heart of the Rebel was Ashert Marn. I wrote it down. Ashert Man. I wrote Ashert Man, but I think it's Ashert Marn. I think there's another R in there. I'm not quite. We'll call it Asher.
I can't pronounce any of the Unmaid's names
so
unless I'm looking at it.
There's certain ones that I like. I can't off the top of my head unless I'm looking at it. But the graphic audio said them in some weird ways, and I was like, "That's how you say it," because I. Oh man, Asher.
You could collab with
Marn.
Sela.
Okay, right. Oh, Sela's way better than me. She went out of my league. I could never.
So I was reading something earlier, and apparently all the Unmaid's names have like Hebrew like inspiration.
I did not know that, or maybe I didn't.
It was cool because like I was reading a thing earlier and it was like it like showed like the Hebrew like equivalents and they're very similar. It's really cool.
Oh, that's true. Did we learn that here at this point, or did we learn that later? We learned that here, didn't we? Because it's when Jean's talking to her. Okay. But yeah, the fact that Odium thinks that Shaylin's an Elscaller and not a light.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Because that's the cover she's told. Like when they got to Uruthuru, she didn't want people to know about her illusion, so she got Dalinar on board with telling people she was an Elscaller. Because she shares the other power with the Elscaller. So it's like she could fudge that, but she didn't want people to know, and so Odium believes that. And it's like interesting that he doesn't know the truth. Noise.
I was trying to like think whether the names for the Unmade were like anagrams of things. I was like anagrams, but the only one that was an anagram of anything is Ashertman, which is an anagram of man haters.
Man haters, I love it. Oh my god, were we Ashertman all along? Oh, that's great. That's funny. I love it. But yeah, so much fun stuff with Unmade, which like we're just getting Unmade left and right in this one, and it's like okay. But yeah, we already talked about Elokar and how much I hate Moash.
Oh wait, there's that moment in Kholinar where Vale or Shaylin getting like
she's stealing from the like high lady.
She's like infiltrating this high lady's place, and she's like pretending to be her, and then she sinks into this really creepy mental state where she's like,
the persona
I'm better at her. Like I could be better at her than this. I can kill the original one and become her.
Take her place. And it's like that's the moment where it's like you've been concerned by these personas, but at that point it's like she put this persona on for 5 minutes and it's like it's become this fucking woman immediately. And it's like what the fuck?
And she gets like she scares herself so much that she like jolts out of the persona. Yeah. She's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
She's crazy.
There's so many moments when she's in one of the personas, and then it's like and it's really, I'll say in the graphic audio, it's fucking great, because like it's the same voice actress, but she's doing different voices for each one. So like Vale has a different voice radio, but it's the same voice actress. And like hearing her when she like kind of slides in and out of them, and it's like Shaylin is trying to break back through, and like, what the fuck was that? And it's like Shaylin coming out, like, oh god. It's like, and those moments when it's like Vale and Radiant are like, yeah, let's get rid of Shaylin. Like, she doesn't matter. And it's like, what?
So,
her brain is totally fine. Shaylin's fine. Don't worry about Shaylin.
It's a scary place in there.
It's so scary.
With all these flashbacks and things, I'm starting to wonder if memory repression is a requirement to become a Radiant. Like,
well, we can't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
No, we can't, because Max has not gotten to that with Dalinar's flashbacks, but with Shaylin's, like she's specifically just suppressing.
No, I was just gonna say about the Ninth Radiant in general, like how you become a Ninth Radiant.
Oh yeah, like the bitches be broken.
Gotta have
some cracks trauma. In their soul. Yeah, like they gotta have cracks in their soul.
It goes hand in hand with memory suppression.
Yeah, but like as far as like actually like suppressing like the person themselves suppressing the memories, like Shaylin's the only one who's really doing that, I think. Like Kaladin's flashbacks weren't like suppressed for memories, it was just we're learning about his past. Like his were just fucking normal memories. But Shaylin's and Dalinar's were like a little bit more plot involved than Kaladin's Way of Kings.
Yeah, but we'll talk about Dalinar's at the end.
Yeah, we'll talk about Dalinar's at the end, because that's different. So yeah, the next thing I had was Dalinar remembering what happened to his wife.
I have feelings about this. I feel like we weren't given enough time to get attached to Evie. So like when it was like, oh, he killed his wife, I was like, all right.
Oh,
I mean,
Because like
yeah.
the whole way through in the flashbacks, she was like sad background lady, and we never really got like. I feel like I wanted more. I wanted to know more about her.
I feel like we got enough for it to like, but like you're not supposed to.
I mean,
I think like, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I think understandable because like we don't really get Evie in the first 2 books at all, really. But like,
you don't know her name.
I think, I
we don't even know her
agree with
name.
you,
Yeah, he
Bree.
doesn't remember.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bree. Like, I think we get enough to like be invested in her character. But yeah, it could be more.
Well, see, the thing is, when you're getting these flashbacks, like you don't know this bitch is dead, so it's like there's no point in getting invested in her in that way. But it's just giving like enough to like understand Dalinar's motives and stuff. Obviously,
like Dalinar's reaction.
Yeah, like the way things went down. Obviously, we at the point.
Good point, Jonathan.
Yeah,
that may have been part of the point that Dalinar never. Really
I mean, that's also true. Like that's evident in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Like, I hate young Dalinar. Like he's just not a good dude.
One thing as well, though, is like it never even in Adeline's POV stuff talks about the mum at all.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get more of that later on. I will say, because like I think for Adolin, it is like a traumatized pain thing he doesn't want to think about. Like that's he lost his mom.
Right.
Whereas Dalinar literally doesn't remember, and now we're learning why.
But there's like 2 instances after we learn about Dalinar killing his wife.
Adolan doesn't.
Adeline does.
Adolan doesn't know. Yeah, but Adolan doesn't know that that's what happened.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, why were there no mentions before? But after we learned that.
Max, it's a pacing issue. It's what me and Spencer are talking about.
No, I think it's intentionally left out so that you don't know about it.
Yeah, because it's like it's supposed to be the whole mystery of like these flashbacks and stuff, and like it's very plot relevant. Like all of this stuff, like obviously towards what happens at the end of this book, which we can't talk about.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a huge plot relevant thing with like the flashbacks here. So.
I wonder whose flashbacks we're gonna get in the next book.
I won't tell you, but we know all the flashbacks up through book 10. Like we know who we're getting.
I know already too.
Yeah, and the order could change, but we know who they are. And they don't.
The order has already changed.
I don't think it's changed.
Yeah, it did. So is Unhallowed.
No, not we're not talking about the titles.
No, I know, but the things changed.
Oh yeah, but that already happened. Like I'm talking about for the future books. Like we know the list going forward. That hasn't changed. Okay. I will say that this book was supposed to be Zeth's flashbacks, and it turned out to be Dalinar. So you will get some Zeth flashbacks at some point. Won't say
I'll tell you what. Speaking of him, his chapters in this book were my least favorite bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable. I disagree with understandable.
Yeah, I also disagree, but I don't like. I understand. Because like it's just a slower and it's like a more detached storyline. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's very
Like,
separate.
man,
just
even
everything Paladin and like Adolin and Shaylin are doing is related to what like everybody else is doing in Europe. Like those and this is so separate. And it's like let's go see the Skybreakers. Let's play paintball with the Skybreakers.
If they had done like that stuff as an interlude, I feel like I could have got behind it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I think because Seth is becoming more of like a forefront character, he's no longer like just an interlude character, which I get and I like that. But yeah, it does feel a little more out of place because like you did go from him just being an interlude character to like then we're mixing those things in and it's I get that like
the paintball game.
It's literally they're just playing paintball. I mean I guess it's technically like powdered sacks of paint.
But they're playing paintball.
It's paintball.
I really love Seth's chapters, but I understand like why people wouldn't.
Yeah,
I do.
Casey and I also really love Seth. So.
We just really love him.
We really love Seth as a character. So not as a person necessarily because he's super fucked up, but also he's such a mood. He's such a mood.
I feel like he has very little personality though because he's just recovering from like being like a truthless.
That's another thing is like we're just now getting to the point where he's trying to like figure out who he is and it's like it's a blank slate almost. There's like not much going on there and he's trying to figure out like who he is and what codes to follow and all this stuff. God, right? Like, he's such a mood. Like, he literally says that. I just, I'm just saying, like, he's fucked up, but also a mood. But yeah, so any other thoughts about like the Evie reveal or any of that?
Remind me again where Evie is from.
Is she from Erie?
Is she from Erie?
Yeah, she's not like native to Poland, or I mean, she's not like.
No, she's not. She's Erie-Ollie, right? Because she has like the gold hair and like the.
That's why the boys have the mixed hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I had to think for a second. People were like, "Oh my god, other nations of Roshar. What are they?"
Yeah, that's why I was attached to Evie, because like.
She's also from like a place we haven't been to. Yeah.
Yeah. Like she was like an outsider, and you really feel that, and like she's like trying to like, still live her, I guess, her culture and her beliefs, but like Dalinar's just like, that's stupid.
I know, he's like, don't say that, you heretic pagan.
I felt for her so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Evie. Like
she's just such.
We don't get a lot of her, but I
don't get a lot of her. But I'm like, she's just so fucking pure, and the fact that she's like still putting up with Dalinar shit. You know what I mean? Like in those flashbacks, and she's just like trying her best, and he's just like does not give a shit and like making her cry. I'm like, bro, look at this beautiful woman who's just sitting here. Just, I swear, like, come on now, give her the time of day.
Why did Evie like emigrate to Alethkar though?
There's like a whole reasoning behind like her and her brother when they came.
Political thing,
flashbacks. Yeah. It has like a whole political thing, and like they're like, she even says like he talks about, like taking her like back home, and she's like, we can't go back home. Like we're like,
they'll arrest us or something.
Yeah, like they're like fugitives, but that's not the word for it. Like they're like outcast from their own society, and they can't go back home and stuff. There's like a whole political reason, and it's like even stated that that's like why they came here is like, and why they got into that marriage is because like they needed someone who could protect them, and so the biggest baddest boy on Roshar. Yeah. Yep.
So wait, back to Seth for a second. His like moments do like really bring you out of it, but also he's swearing his ideals. Like you get like one moment of him and he swears the first ideal, and then you get the second one and he's swearing the second ideal, and it's like, dude, slow down.
He's like, "Alright, Skybreakers, let's go, I'm ready." It's true, he's just like fucking zooming through it. Zoomies. Got the zoomies. Alright, so okay, let me see what. Okay, now we're on to part 4 and we're on to Shadesmar, but I don't know if we put anything from the end of Shadesmar in here, so let me read through this real quick because Max is not done with Shadesmar. So Skybreaker speed run. Oh my god, that is so true. He's just doing a Skybreaker speed run.
Yeah,
that's great.
I bet he's got the best time so far. He's gonna win.
Honestly, yeah. I do love that, like when they're doing like those like tests, and it's like they're trying to find those people who like escaped the prison or whatever, and he's like, the prison guard, he's the one I'm gonna kill. Like he's the one who did. I'm like, he's getting all the tests right. Like finding like the little loopholes that they're actually looking for. So proud of him. He's doing
so fucked up though. Like the Skybreakers for a moment. Let's just talk about how fucked up the Skybreakers are, because they're looking for these like loopholes in the law, but they're trying to like follow the law to the letter. But like, what law are they actually following? It breaks my brain when I think about it too hard, because they're so fucked up.
Nail should not be in charge. I'll just say it. I'll put it out there. He's not right in the brains. Yeah. Okay. So.
One crying session does not.
Fever Dream featuring BDCs. I love that, Spence. Yeah, so we get to see
Shadesmar is a fever dream. Like the sky is always a weird color, and like the water is beads, and like the land is beads, and like the water is land.
Yeah, it's inverted. Yeah. But yeah, we get to see like the Spren and like their physical like manifestations. So you get to see like full form pattern with like his stiff like robes, and then Big Sill as like a whole people.
I did not expect that. It was like so cool, because like the way that like it was written out, and like when they arrive in Shadesmar, and like then this figure appeared and this figure appeared, I was like, that's this person's friend, that's this person's friend,
right.
And
they're like, who the fuck is this? And it's like, oh, Nolan, that's your sword. Yeah. That's your sword. She's kind of.
And Azure is like, oh, I don't have one.
Right. My sword is.
Oh, Azure is like, I hate this place. Oh.
Right, like that's the like last line of that part.
The last line of that part.
I mean, she doesn't say fucking, but like you can hear it in the tone. She's like, I fucking hate this place.
She's not allowed to swear.
Where you see like the true forms of Spren, I think that's there's a lot of really interesting implications with that kind of stuff.
Like the emotion
Like-
spread and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
firstly, why the fuck do they all have human hands? Every single one of them has
Patterned
human
hands.
hands.
Oh yeah, Pattern's hands. God. Okay, I just want you guys to know that Pattern's hands are actually salad fingers. He's salad fingers. It's cute. He's salad fingers. I don't know if you guys remember salad fingers, but if you do, that's Pattern's hands.
But like, even the
All I
other
gotta say. Full stop.
even the other emotions, Brent, like why do they have mouths? What is a mouth for on a spren?
Yeah.
They're Spren. They're just cool, weird
I mean,
people.
the sprens are like the manifestations of the emotions and the ways that the people perceive them, because it's like all human perception that forms them and shapes them. So yeah, mouths, it makes sense to me. It's like it doesn't actually, but it does, because people
Like,
like to personify.
But
They don't need them, but it makes sense they have them because it's the way people personify stuff to look like people. Yeah. So I know there's something that you shouted about like a couple hours ago. The lighthouse guy. Would you like to talk about the lighthouse guy? Because boy, do I have something to tell you about the lighthouse guy.
Finally repping the best planet in the cosmere.
All right. So yes,
Finally.
The lighthouse guy, I think his name was Reno. Is that it? Reno with 2 eyes? Yes, he is in fact from where you think he's from. Sorry, Steph, we're gonna talk about Elantris for a second. He's from Elantris, but not only is he's not just some random dude from Elantris. If you remember Elantris, there's a random dude. No, he's not. No, he's not.
He's say that again, Brie. Sorry.
If you remember the plot of Elantris, there's a person that's like sick with the Shayad or whatever it's called.
Oh, is there the guy that jumped in the lake?
The guy that they put in the lake to like free him.
Dissolved?
That's the same one. The one that dissolved,
No
and they're like, oh,
way.
that's the same guy. It's confirmed by Womp. It's not like
I
confirmed.
thought it was Raiden.
No, it's not Raiden.
No, it's not Raiden.
Raiden's
not?
still on Elantris doing whatever.
When
he's
is this? How long is this set after Elantris then?
Genuinely no idea.
I don't know. And
Not
also, cognitive realm time works
Yeah.
different.
LOL. Not really. A little bit.
Also, with people being able to travel through the cognitive realm, right? Is it like, so you see like the universe is like the void and there are like, imagine 3 planets. Is it like in the cognitive realm, is it the cognitive void and 3 cognitive planets? Or is the cognitive realm a flat plane and you can literally walk from like Nalthis to Cell?
Okay, it doesn't necessarily work like that, but like the cognitive realm is the cognitive realm for like they're connected. You can get from one to the other for the different planets, and that's how like Hoid travels from planet to planet is through the cognitive realm. That's how we do good old world hopping. So like all the cognitive for all the different planets.
Though, like
I need more deets.
Do you think I have more deep? What was that?
Do we know how they're connected, like geographically? Like what connects? Is it just like space that connects them, or like how?
She's going on. She's
you,
going
like,
on the
sail
thing
in the
right
sea of
now to look at
beads?
it.
Hang on. What did?
All Skybreakers are bastards.
Oh yeah, that's what I was laughing at. I'm gonna go.
Hang on. Eli was asking if we wanted to do a thing. Hang on. Pull in the wob. I don't think so. Maybe we should save that for when we like do just talk about full cosmere stuff for the wrap up party, because I don't want to get too off topic of Oathbringer talking about Elantris stuff. So we're gonna save your questions and your thoughts, and we'll do full cosmere connection discussion in our wrap up party, not in the row, but in the wrap up party.
Okay.
So that way we can like
hasn't read
focus on it
yet.
No, it's my goal for January. I would like to read it.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best Cosmo book.
I feel like I missed out the first one, and it's just been in everything since. And
it does have like slight connections.
The FOMO is real.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's like Max's favorite, but it's like no one else's favorite. So take that as you will.
I like
Elantris, but everyone's like most people say it's like the worst Cosmere book, or the least good Cosmere book, I should say. It's because it's not
my favorite part about it is the writing structure is so interesting. Like he went in with a very specific writing structure, and it's just so like it's just nice.
I feel like it moves so nicely too. Yeah, like it flows really well.
I'm excited by how short it is.
It is. I know, right? Going from Stormlight to that, you're gonna be like, this is a breeze. A little breeze. But yeah, so your lighthouse guy is from Cell, and he is the guy that you see in Elantris who is put into the pool.
Hell yeah.
So he's the same one. Okay, what else happens in Cognitive that we can talk about? So yeah, we get to see. Wait, hang on. Okay, hang on. I have it open to where Max is, so let me look. Wait, you're currently on this boat, right?
I'm gonna take a potty break while you figure that out.
Okay. I think we're gonna have to kick Max out in like a minute, and then we'll be getting into the end and wrapping up soon. So.
Does Max know about the painting thing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because you're on which boat?
I have a lot of art things to say, but I'll be right back.
Oh, I've seen the painting that came from the Court of the Gods.
Okay, right. Okay, good. Okay,
on
thank
Malthus.
you. Yes, it literally says from the Court of Gods, which should be a giveaway of what Court of Gods is being spoken about in there, because it's called the Court of Gods, and it is the exact same painting that we see in what's his name, Lightsong, looking at and seeing shit in. It's the same one, and like. Even the person who's like selling it is like, oh yeah, it says that like everyone who looks at it sees something different, and it's like this crazy thing. So
when he was
the one
as well,
he's trying
he was
to
like,
analyze?
they usually burn them and stuff.
Yeah, but this one ended up on like the black market at Shadesmar. I fucking love it.
Black market god art, you know.
Yeah, as you do. So yeah, my notes here were just anyone recognize a certain painting from a certain Court of Gods and recognize the lighthouse guy. And then something else, but we won't get into that yet. I feel like we confirmed it, and even if he didn't, like it's obviously it is. Unless he outright said it isn't. I mean, like it's in the text. It feels like it is. It's described like the same. So, but I felt like it was confirmed, but maybe I'm wrong. I'll confirm it. It is.
What was the art thing you wanted to talk about?
I'm the Storm Daddy. What?
What was the art thing that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, I love all the art discussions. I was thriving.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so we can't talk about my next topic because that's right about 3 chapters away.
No,
from
I
where
think
I'm
it's pretty much time for you to banish me.
All right.
I'll actually go and read some more.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're about 3 chapters away from something you're gonna be wanting to dig into.
Awesome.
So
I will be blowing up.
Or go to sleep and like take it fresh tomorrow.
Sleep.
You're reading all day, so maybe take a nap.
No, you can do whatever you want.
We'll see.
All right.
Okay. Well.
We love you.
Peace. Have fun screaming at each other.
Oh, we will.
Bye.
Bye.
Boy. All right.
Ooh, we're bigger now. Ooh.
He's been yeeted. All right. Okay, so we can go back to talking about Azure before we move on, since we're still in the Shadesmar.
Oh yeah.
You can see my mustache is better now.
So can we say who Azure is now?
Did you figure that out, Steph? Did you have guesses on who? No, all right. Do you want me to go say it?
Wait, it's not Vasher?
No, Vasher.
Vasher is Zahel.
Vasher is Zahel.
Yeah.
Which we talked about. We talked about that in the Words of Radiance live show, but we talked about at the end. Yeah, because you were there at the beginning. Yeah. So Vasher is Zahel. Azure is Vivenna.
Wow.
Like it's if you hadn't figured out Vasher as the hell before, then this would have been harder to figure out. But like if you have that going, like that going in, because obviously like Nightblood's also here, we know that like Nightblood's chilling. So like yeah,
we don't know what their thing is. Why are they like?
I know we get the fun line of Azure being like, yeah, I'm like chasing someone, I'm hunting someone, like a criminal, and then when they figure out that it's Vasher, was Zahel, whatever you say his name. She's like, well, yeah, like I'm hunting. What did she say? Like I'm hunting a weapon, and the one who brought it here. So she's technically after Nightblood, but she wants to find Vasher because she, I think, assumes Vasher has Nightblood. We don't know why he doesn't. We don't know
why they hate each other. Like
we don't know that they hate each other, but they're clearly not vibing. Also, my favorite thing is if Azure had stayed with them, she would have found Nightblood in the fucking Battle of Thalen Field. He's right fucking there. He's right there, and Zahel is at Urathur, I believe. So it's like if you had just stayed with them. But yeah, another dead giveaway is like when they jump off of the ship at the end, and like she's like, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna fight these fuse, I'm gonna help the ship people, you guys go. She tells them to like start making shapes out of things, and they're like, why are we doing this? And she's like, don't worry about it, because she's gonna, awaken a bunch of little things to fight for her. Yeah, and also she has a shard blade that's not a shard blade, and she wears gloves because it fucks up her hand. So she's got her own version of Nightblood, it appears, but we don't know anything about that either. We know she calls it a she. We know that much. So it looks like she made herself a Nightblood, but we don't know if it's as bad as.
So has he finished writing the second Warbreaker book?
No, he hasn't even started. Steph, welcome to my torment.
What happened? What?
Okay, so the funny thing is, we always talk about how Warbreaker is more like a prequel to Stormlight, because literally he wanted to tell like more of Vasher's story because he knew Vasher was going to play roles in Stormlight. But the funny thing that makes me laugh about that is like Vasher is like the least amount of page time in the Warbreaker book, even though it's like the Vasher prequel book. It makes me laugh so
He
hard.
does? I feel like he was all up in that book.
I mean, he is.
I mean, he is one of the main POVs, but it's just like so much more focused on like Ciri and Viv.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's just more focus on them. It just makes me laugh. Like he still has the least amount of page time. Otherworldly.
Also, yeah, there's the point where they're all doing the same kata.
Yeah, but it's like if you hadn't figured out Vasher as the hell, then like this also wouldn't, But once you know that, like then it gives away that Azure is Vivenna. And the color name, I was like, because the thing is, okay, we got spoiled. Like Brandon let us know because everybody had figured out Vasher, and he let us know ahead of time. He was like, "Yeah, Viv's coming. You'll find Viv." So we're like, "All right, let's everybody keep your eyes for an Oathbringer." When Oathbringer came out,
we thought we were gonna have to look for her.
We thought she was gonna be like a subtle bitch in the background, and we see this bitch stroll up named Azure, and I'm like, "I found her. Color name. I found her." She's here.
That's what I said too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, you literally hopped right on it. You were like,
this
kind of color name. This is suspicious. Yeah. So that's fun. Anything else that we need to talk about here in Shadesmar? The next thing I had was
the
Voidbringer reveal. Yeah.
No, just one last thing about Azure, because like I feel like her personality has changed so much since being Vivenna.
Yeah, and we don't know like what's happened from that point to this.
I know. That's why I'm curious. Like,
I want the Warbreaker sequel.
She's clearly been through so much because she has these scars, right, on her face.
Yeah, she has a scar on her face. I got some good art of her in the drive that we'll go through at the end.
Oh man,
some good art. Yeah. But yes, the next thing was like the thing Max cares about the most, and it's the fact that yes, he was right. A human exodus has occurred. The humans are not native to Roshar. They were the Voidbringers all along. And there are so many hints to this, like very, very subtle hints, but like throughout Way of Kings and Words of Radiance, other than just like the ecology and the fact that humans don't fit in on this planet. Yeah. There are like more subtle things.
This was a huge disappointment because I felt like it was obvious the whole time. And I was like,
I mean, like that, yeah, like no, most people don't guess it because most people just look past the fact. The thing, most people enter this fantasy world and they're like, yeah, it's all weird, and the humans don't fit, but they assume it's just like, yeah, but that's just the way he wrote it because it's like you want to write about humans in this weird fantasy world. So like people don't question it. Max questioned it from the beginning, and there's like other people who've questioned it, but like most people just like breeze on by it. But there are so many hints throughout the books that it's like it's easy to pick up on if you're looking.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also super easy to miss if you're not. The
biggest solidifying moment, I think, was in the beginning of Words of Radiance when we learn about Eshonai.
Yeah.
And them, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah. There's so many subtle things that give it away that it's like, yep.
Voidbringers were the friends we made along the way.
I do love like the craftiness of Taravangian, how he's like, okay, I'm going to reveal this at the same time that we like leak the thing about the High King stuff that like no one knows about. And like all this stuff's going to drop at the same time during this coalition meeting where everyone's making great plans. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, fuck. And they're all going to just fuck up his whole day.
Yeah.
Completely. Like it was so crafty the way he just completely takes down Dalinar's coalition with just like a few leaked things all at once. Like it was so smart and so devious. I loved it.
It was so stressful.
It's so stressful. Like that moment when he's like, oh yeah, the stuff about like us not being native to Roshar, and they're like, I'm talking about this thing, like everybody getting the different information. It was great. But also, I love that that's like the thing that they ended up translating from the fucking Danchan is like, here's the whole part about humans not being our friends. They conquered our whole fucking planet after they destroyed theirs. Another fun tidbit: they destroyed their last planet, so that's a fun thing to learn. They destroyed it with surge binding. Interesting.
This goes back to what Spence was saying earlier in the live show about there being a lot of relations to like real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Although
No,
we can't fly.
Yeah.
although we can't fly, Casey says. Although we can't fly.
Okay, I'm gonna pee.
Do we know what planet they're
Okay,
from, or is it from Threnody or no?
No. I could tell you this, but like, I don't know how much of this is actually like blatant in the text. So this is something we'll talk about all of this because I think Max will also want to talk about this when we do the wrap up party. I'll explain all this, but like because like we know the name of the planet that they came from, and it's in the Rosharan system. I'll go ahead and tell you that there's 3 planets in the Rosharan system.
Oh,
one is the one they came from. One is Braze, damnation, and then one is Rosharan. So yeah, they came from the Rosharan system. It's just they weren't native to Roshar. Yeah. But before we get into the whole Sanderlynch, wait for Casey to come back. So, any other thoughts on anything that happened in Shadesmar or like the coalition stuff? Any of that? Any thoughts?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
From here on is where I am just highly confused. Like
a lot happens at the end. Like so, like it goes from like 5 to like 100, like really fast.
Really fast.
I literally lost my mind because I had never listened to the Oathbringer graphic audio before. I'd listened to Wave King's Words of Radiance and some of the Mistborns, but I never listened to Oathbringer. And I had it at like 1.5 speed, which is like graphic audio has all the sound effects. So I was like, I couldn't go higher than that because it was melting my brain for the sound effects to be sped up too. And then like when you're switching the POVs, I was like sitting there because like Casey did not read Oathbringer, by the way, guys. I mean, she's read it before, but she did not read it before this live show. So I was just sitting there like key smashing like everything that was happening in the Sanderlynch. And yeah, and I started yelling at Eli also. I switched and yelled at Eli when I got to a certain point last night. But it literally was just like switching so fast. And I was like, this is so intense. I love it. It was melting my brain.
I had mixed feelings about the POV.
I saw your comment and I completely disagree, but we can chat about that when Casey gets back.
I'm right here.
Oh, Casey's back. I'm not looking at that side of the screen. Casey, did you have any other thoughts on any of the stuff before we get into like the Sanderlynch?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We got a lot of Sanderlynch to go through.
I'm also whether this is the case on all the planets that we visited so far. Like, are people not supposed to be from any of the planets that we visited so far?
I mean, in Mistborn, it's confirmed that like the gods, the shards of those planets, created the people. So I mean, like they are native to their planet because they created them on that planet. I don't actually know if any of the other ones have like confirmation of anything like that, but it really was, Ange. I was on a fucking ride. Let me tell you, I got so emotional.
I got about 60 all caps messages in a row.
I was literally like, Teft, Kaladin, typing all the things that were happening. And it was going so fast because I had it sped up, and then it also goes fast. So
before we get into the Sanderlynch, I was curious, Steph, are you like, do you already have like what you need for like your like why you didn't like Oathbringer? Or is it part of the Sanderlynch?
No, it's not part of the Sanderlynch. It was just general pacing, story structure. I'm sick and tired of flashbacks.
Oh, get used to it. They're in every book.
I'm never gonna get rid of them.
Nope, every book. It's the formula.
Yeah, and then there's certain things about Adeline and Shalon's relationship that I wasn't feeling. But other than that, I feel that's fine.
Like, what about Adeline and Shaylin's? Oh no, you got me saying Shaylin. No, Eli. Sorry.
Yes.
Shalon. No.
Shaylin.
What about their relationship?
I mean, I have to suck it up.
I mean, yeah, they got married at the end of this book.
I don't like that it. For me, I saw it as this perpetuation of like he got to play around and like be a guy and do what he wanted, but she's slightly more innocent and she retained her innocence for him. And I was like, I don't like that. There was something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was something that she said to him, I think in their first like kiss scene, that I didn't like. And if I remember what it was, I'll tell
In
you.
this book,
Yeah.
was it?
No mating scene.
They didn't kiss in
It
that
was in
scene.
the no mating scene, I think. There was something, a specific line that she said, and I was just like,
I don't think they actually kissed in that scene though, so I don't think it's that one.
or maybe it's, I don't remember, but I'm gonna think about it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like I understand the importance of, and that we're slowly breaking down the roles of men and women here in this universe. But like the way that she is able to speak and act without having had experience, and it's kind of this like perfected idea of a woman who's able to be sexy while still retaining her innocence. And I was just like, nah. Let her be. Let them live. Like, whatever.
Let them live, whatever. I don't care. All right. So do we want to talk about the Battle of Thaylen Field? Because, oh boy, is there a battle at Thaylen Field?
There's so much that happens in this end bit. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Like, obviously, there's just so much. I put, like, so many things here, and I don't even think I covered it. I was screaming in all caps in my notes. Hang on. Obviously, like, we have the moment when Jasmine is preparing to kill Renarin because she realizes that something's wrong with his spren. And we learn that he bonded a void spren. Or it's a corrupted spren, not a void spren. It's a corrupted spren. So it's like, we don't really know.
Is he really a radiant then?
I mean, yes, but he's different. Yeah. Like, he bonded a radiant spren, but it was a corrupted spren, corrupted by Ja'anat. So it's different. Things are different there. Yeah, Kaladin tried and failed to level up a little bit. It hurts. It hurts me. That moment when he's trying to swear the fourth ideal, and he can't do it.
Super Saiyan 4, and it just didn't work.
He can't do it. He's like, I can't. And like in that moment, you know, he realizes whatever it is he needs to say, and he can't do it. Like, he cannot agree to whatever the terms are for that ideal. And that moment when Syl's just like hugging him, and like Adolan's like bleeding out, and Shaylin's panicking, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's all happening. Oh, it's so intense. And then obviously Dalinar. So much is happening with Dalinar.
My hands are great. Amazing.
It really is. It is.
It's so good.
Like, obviously you learn that he like you see him in his like point of view, seeing his visions and see how that works, which is really cool. Like how like it forms on like the ground in front of him, and like the like glass like mosaic looking stuff, and how they have words, and he learned how to read so he could understand the words on his visions, which I love. And he literally sees like the vision of like Dalinar giving into Odium. He sees a vision of Jasna killing him, and she's like standing behind him, shard blade out, ready to do it, and he's like accepted it. He's like, this is what's gonna happen. And then she doesn't do it. She doesn't kill him. She's like, you're my cousin and I love you. Let's go party. They literally like run through the city hand in hand after that, and it's just so fucking wholesome. Ugh.
I just love the fact that she doesn't kill him, and then Ivory's there, and he's like, you didn't do it.
Yeah, he's like, this was right. This was the
this is the right thing. Like, this is the right thing to do, and it's just so good.
He's like, it doesn't make sense, but this is right. Like, this is right. Wow.
Eli, what is happening?
I don't know what's happening. Oh, I do not know what's happening here.
I mean, I guess you're not wrong.
No, okay, it took me a second to figure out what the like metaphor there was, but I got it. I got there in the end.
I don't get it.
It's just, I mean, you could say any language, I guess, that is derivative of Latin is a corrupted version of Latin.
That's true.
True.
Well, then
Dalinar like slicing that perpendicularity.
Dalinar literally sticks one hand into one realm, one hand into another, and claps it together, making a perpendicularity. Honors perpendicularity. It's so fucking good.
It's like, so good.
I am unity. It's so fucking good. I just lose my shit every time.
That was the scene, remember, Casey?
The scene. But also Odium's reaction to that is very interesting.
Okay, so like there's what's the line he has where it's like did I put it in my notes? When he's like, Dalinar says the line, I am unity, and then Odium says, we killed you. We killed you. And we still don't know what this means. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah, and then Jasna's just Jasna on this battlefield is like my favorite. You see, like you have a Dolan being like, "Oh, Jasna's over there. She needs to. Oh no, she just killed those 3 guys. Okay, she's fine. I'm gonna go over here." Like people need help. Oh no, they're fine. Like just trying his best to help, but like Jasna literally just kicking ass on the battlefield. It's like, "Oh, we need to fill this gap in the wall." Oh, Jasna did that. Okay, and now what are we gonna do?
I love
Every time I turn around, Jasna's just.
And like that moment where they're seeing like after the perpendicularity, they're still kind of
this so
seeing
big.
into the, huh?
You're making this. Is that you, Spence, making that so big?
Oh, they're still like seeing into the cognitive realm a little bit. Like you're in Jasna's point of view, and she sees like a friend go by, and it's like the cognitive version of the friend.
She literally says something about how like because she's looking into the cognitive while she's in the physical, she sees the spren in the cognitive react to like the enemies around her, and that lets her know where they are, and she's like fighting in turn with like using their reactions to the things in the. I was like, this is so fucking cool.
But also, my brain could never keep up that much. Like she's doing
right.
So
I'm like,
much.
I would if my brain was doing that, I'd be like, I'm gonna lay down on the floor. You guys got this. I'm gonna take a nap. But yeah, so then we have a Dolan. Oh my god. So the moment when he's trying to summon the blade, and he hears her speak to him in his mind, and she tells him her name, Maya Lauren. And then he's trying to summon the blade, and he's like, Maya, please! And she comes before the 10 heartbeats are out. She comes at heartbeat number 7, I think. And she does it more than once. And there's just so many implications there, because, like, that's a dead spren, but stuff's happening. I love it. But, yeah. And then, you got the Skybreakers siding with the Voidbringers, because they're all trash, like Josh says. And then Zeth is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to swear to Dalinar Kholin, because that sounds chill. And so, like, it's my favorite thing at the end when, like, they're, like, in, like, that circle, and, like, Dalinar's, like, counting the radiance, and Jazz is like, yeah, the storming fucking assassin in white's here. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, no one just fucking questioning. He's just on their side now. In the battle, like, on their side. And no one's like, is anybody going to...
Like, should we fight him?
Cool now? Are we cool? Okay. But also, the Zeth and Lift team up is like one of my favorite things in the Battle of Thaylen Fields because it's just so fucking funny and it's so good.
They're so different, but
it's so good. Like that moment when like Nightblood is literally killing Zeth and Lift's like, I'm gonna help, and just like grabs his head and then it starts like eating her. Ugh.
And then after, she's like, you were gonna eat us, and he was like, I'm
not gonna eat people. I just must be very hungry. I love Nightblood so much. Also, I will say the Nightblood voice actor in Oathbringer graphic audio is not the same as in the Warbreaker graphic audio, and I don't like either because the Warbreaker one is like super fucked up, but in Oathbringer he sounds like a normal dude, and I don't like it.
No, he can't be a normal dude. I would prefer the weird creepy.
I need something in the middle. In the middle. I don't remember this. What happened?
No, it was Justin.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah, that checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, no, I remember that. I remember it.
We see Risen again in the.
We see Risen and little Cheery. Yeah. Risen is the one who's literally her job is like guarding the shit and like doing the like ledgers when they come to steal the giant ruby drop that they trap the thrill in.
Oh.
Giant drop. The whole Lift and Zeth team up is them getting the ruby back, and they stole that from Risen. That was Risen. Yeah, they stole it from Risen. She works in Thaylen City now.
And we see Cheery feed off of Void Light.
Yes, we do.
It's a very intense scene happening.
Yeah, there's so much happening there, like so much. Also, like, Renarin fighting the fucking Thunderclast, and it, like, just smooshing him, and he's, like, shard blade through it, and, like, it just doesn't affect him at all. And he heals faster than the other Radiants. Like, Adolan notices that he's healing faster, which is just interesting. But I just love, like, Adolan trying to, like, fight this Thunderclast and, like, struggling so much. And then Renarin comes in, he's like, get off the fucking battlefield, you dumb baby! I got this! And it's, like, Renarin just, like, showing up me, like, I can fight now, I got this! And, like, just completely taking down this Thunderclast was beautiful.
Also, Risen does kill Diffused.
That's true, yeah. Listen, so much happens. I could not keep up in my notes. Okay.
That's fair.
He has grown on me quite a bit. I do like him.
Renarin?
Yeah.
Yes. Renarin's
my
just
favorite.
the goodest boy. He's the goodest boy.
He's the goodest. He's the best. I love him.
But yeah, then Dalinar facing the thrill is super great. Like that moment when like he goes in and he understands the thrill and he's like, hello, old friend, and like goes in and he's like seeing all the
Hello.
things and like feeling all the things. Pancake proof.
Hello, Thrill, my old friend.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what happens. Yeah, and like the fact that he's like, oh, like you need to the way that you need to trap his friend is like lure it in with something it loves, and he's like, all right, I'm coming in here with all my fucked up pain. Let's go. And like, and then Lift brings him the ruby. They get the ruby back.
Yeah, I do love that. That's like, I can't go in there. You have to
go.
go.
Yeah, he's like, I cannot. And Lift's like, I got it. Let's go. That's what she sounds like in the graphic audio. It's really great. I actually really like the voice actress for Lift in the graphic audio. I like it more than I thought I would. Shaylin's my favorite in the graphic audio, but because that voice actress is phenomenal. But yeah, and then what was I going to say? I was going to say something else. And I got distracted. I was going to say something else. Casey, what was I going to say?
Is this the part where like you cannot have my pain?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Unity scene.
That's the
Oh,
Unity
yeah,
scene.
that's right.
Also, also, can we backtrack? Because one of my favorite scenes of Lift in the entire series is when she's talking to Dalinar, and he's hugging the book, The Way of Kings, and she's like, you're gonna fight him with a book? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, all right, sure, whatever. And then he's like, do you have a weapon? She's like, no, I can't read. And he's like, a real weapon, Lift? And she's like, oh yeah, I got one of those. And summons Wendell is like a fucking stick, like a metal pole. And he's like, oh my god, this child. Like,
I actually love that scene.
That's like my fucking favorite scene. It's just like, literally, it's like, you're gonna fight him with a book? Yeah. And then like the book gets struck by lightning. Like he just blows the book up in Dalinar's hands. And he's like, let me have your pain, Dalinar. Like, it was my fault. I'm the one who made you do those things. I influenced you. And he's like, no, those were my choices. I made those decisions. That's my pain. And you cannot take her from me. You cannot have my pain. And like Odium was so sure in that moment that he was gonna have Dalinar and Dalinar was gonna be his champion, which is a terrifying thought, by the way. Like, I'm so glad that didn't happen. So scary. But yeah, like, you cannot have my pain moment is just so beautiful. And then that's when he swears his ideal and he says, if I must fall, I will rise each time a better man. That's his third ideal, I believe. I think it's his third, yeah. It really is. Like, Lift and Dalinar, honestly, like, Lift, so many interactions with Lift you wouldn't expect are like some of my favorite ones. It's like Lift and Zeth, the dream team. I never expected to love it, but I do. And then Lift and Dalinar, so great. Can't trust it, but that's wow, great timing to show up, Alex. You haven't come to one of our live shows in like months, and you come in for the butt, the tight butt.
That makes sense. I mean, that's
that absolutely checks out. I love it. I'm dropping my battery pack, but yeah, God, no, there's just so much that happens in this battle, and it's also so good.
Speaking of the Unity scene, I just want to call out something that we freak out about every time we reread The Way of Kings. Dalinar's first chapter in this series is called Unity.
It's called Unity.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's called Unity. It's really
called fucking Unity.
Yeah, every time on rereads, we're like, oh my god. But yeah, also another thing we didn't bring up, which I wanna bring up because also the story about Justin not reading it was funny. So the scene when Shaylin is just kind of light weaving a whole ass army, you know, she's just light weaving a whole army to keep everybody busy, which is super fucking cool.
With sound effects too, and smells.
Yes. It was really fun in the GA, I will say. But she has this moment where like she's light weaving and like got all these different like things from her drawings, and she has that moment where she's like, I thought I lost these, like all her old sketches, and they come to life in her light weavings, which is cute. But then like she has Veil and Radiant, and they're like holding hands, and they're like the solid like real personas. And then when Jasmine comes to help her, and she goes to grab Shaylin's hand, she reaches for Shaylin, and Shaylin puffs away to smoke, and then Radiant is like, I'm here. Shaylin's Radiant in that one, and it's just real interesting. And when we were reading this for the very first time, and we were talking about this scene. So what we did when Casey was visiting me when this book came out, so she was at my house, and me, her, and Justin were reading it. We would read like to a certain point, stop, discuss, and then go back in and read some more. And so Casey and I were like sitting in my bedroom, and then like Justin had finished, and he came in to talk to us, and we were talking about the scene, and we're like, yeah, that fucking scene when like Jasmine reaches for her, and it's like it's the wrong one. That was fucking weird. And Justin's like, what are you talking about? Because he was reading the ebook version, and for some reason one of his pages in the ebook just like cut off, so he thought it was the end of the chapter, so he just stopped reading and didn't go to the next page, but the chapters kept going. And it was just so funny to us because we were talking for like 10 minutes about things he hadn't read yet. And he was so confused. It was just really, it's just like one of my favorite memories of reading one of the books for the first time is just, but yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, that whole scene when she reaches for Shaylin and Shaylin isn't Shaylin and Shaylin is Radiant is real wild to me.
There's so many concerning things about Shaylin.
Shaylin is a concerning bitch.
Like you think with each book that she's faced the worst already, and then it gets just gets worse.
I don't want to talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
Gonna potentially have more personalities. Is that what they were hinting to?
I mean, with the way she ends Oathbringer is she's like, I think I got a handle on this. It's just, you know, me, Veil, and Radiant, and just these three. You know, it's totally fine. That's where she leaves you off in Oathbringer. I'll let you read and find out what happens next. But yeah, she's like, oh, just these three. I got a handle on it. I got a handle on it.
She does, like narrator voice, like she did not have a handle on it.
She did not have a handle on it. No spoilers, but yeah, Shaylin has a time in the next book. You'll see.
I just love that Kyle looks at Shao and it's like, oh,
honestly, that's my favorite thing. When he's like, how do you do it? Like, how do you just push it all? And she's like, bro, I'm so fucked up, bro. Like, don't aspire to be Shaylin.
No one should.
Don't do it. Also, another one of my favorite things at the end of this book is like when Kaladin has that moment when he's like, oh yeah, I had feelings for Shaylin. They were friendship the whole time and I just didn't know what it looked like. Like, honestly, bro. Yeah. And like when he has that line when he's like, oh, she just reminds me of someone. Like, she just makes me feel better. He's talking about Tian. Like, it's not explicitly stated, but it's heavily hinted at. She's talking about Tian. She reminds him of Tian. So yeah, then it's pretty much the whole I mean, there's a lot more to the battle, but like that's all the key points of the battle, I think.
Jasna becomes king.
Yeah, Jasna becomes king. Yes, we skip to the end. So yeah, a lot of stuff happens. We have Mosh kills a fucking herald, which is just super chill.
That happened.
That happens. He kills a herald. Yeah. They come to him and they're like, hey, so you killed a king. You want to kill a god? And he's like, I guess. I've got nothing else to do. I hate him so much. And it's just so fucked up. Because he kills Jezrien, King of the Heralds. Yeah. Which, if you go back on rereads, you'll see that you've seen Jezrien in multiple scenes in multiple books. He's in the actual, in Way of Kings, he's in the Szeth prologue. When Szeth is killing people, you see just like a drunk beggar guy who's like laughing. He's like, have you seen me? That's it, just Jezrien. He was there that night on Gavilar's death. And also, there's a Dalinar flashback where he's drinking with like a homeless guy, and that's Jezrien. So Jezrien's just been chilling in Kholinar being a homeless beggar for a while now, and now he's dead because Mosh killed him.
This is so true and so funny to me.
Yeah, it's true. This came out of left field. I was like, we weren't talking about this, but okay. But yeah, like that is a thing. Someone asked if they would have like a full like poly relationship, and he's like, yeah, Shaylin and Dolan would probably be down, but Kaladin's too much of a prude for it. It's canon.
I mean, he is.
Oh yeah,
he is.
Yeah. So Mosh becomes a Vyre, which literally my note right here says Mosh becomes Vyre. Dumb. I hate him so much. He's so fucking stupid. I hate him. I'm like, I don't. He might be my most hated character in all of the Cosmere. Like, there are worse characters, but I think I hate him the most.
We'll get into it more.
There's more reasons why I hate him, and I can't talk about. But you'll hear about that next month.
Yes.
I will go off. Anyways,
I'm stressed, Brie. I'm stressed.
Did you finish it, Spence?
Oh yeah,
What?
Spence
Yeah.
finished Row a couple of days ago. Like literally, very. Cosmere aware now.
Nope.
You're a real boy.
You're so close to being fully Cosmere aware of those stuff. So
yeah,
close.
yeah, like you're just right. You literally got a novella, a book, and Elantris. I mean, then you're there basically.
I'm 75%.
Yeah.
Hell.
But then we get Drahi and Scar, and they saved the baby. I also love that they're just like out like on a hillside somewhere with just like a little Bridge 4 symbol on a tent. I love it. And then they're like, yeah, we didn't write about this in Spannery, but we got a baby. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. I would die for Scar and Drahi, let me tell you. Best Bridge.
Oh.
I love them.
Name a
Speaking
more
of-
iconic duo.
We never talk about it, do we? But like, isn't it in that like spat in like the first part of like the Bridge 4 chapters where is it Sigil that's like he doesn't have the correct paperwork to be gay?
Yeah, Sigil's like, so Drahi is gay, and like that's fine, but he hasn't done the paperwork. And Cal's like, bro, the Azish man, like they love their paperwork.
Kaladin's like, are you okay?
It's like, man, in your kingdom they have to do the right paperwork to be gay. Okay, it's my favorite thing. He's like, he just hasn't done the paperwork. Honestly, I love Sigil too.
And then they go into that whole thing about how it's like actually more manly to be gay.
Oh yeah, when he's like, yeah, like, you know, you like men, so you're more feminine. Logan's like, dude, he likes guys. That makes him more manly. Like, what the fuck? And Talon's like, okay, don't come for me. I'm not trying to start nothing. He's like, that makes him more manly. I love it.
Fill out the correct paper.
I have not, and I never will because I hate paperwork.
Right. And then we have Taravangian having a little meeting with Mr. Odium and making a deal, which is concerning. So he makes a deal to spare all of Carbrinth, everybody in Carbrinth from like within a certain amount of generations and their spouses. And Odium's like, all right, I'll fuck up the rest of the world and I'll spare Carbrinth for you. We've got a deal. So that's fun. Totally chill. Totally chill.
Totally chill.
My favorite thing. One of my favorite things at the end of this book is Adolin fessing up about killing Sidious just to get out of being king. He's like, I can't be king, I killed a man. He's like, don't give me responsibility, I killed someone, I ain't doing it. And I'm like, bro, I love it. It's a whole mood.
They're playing like hot potato with the kingship, and then they're like, oh yeah, Jasmine.
Yeah, she was like, have you guys ever thought about, and like the scene cuts off, and then it's like, you see her walk in with the crown, and it's like, yes, good, correct, Jasmine is king. This is the way it should have been all along.
I love that.
We got Shaylin and Dolan getting married, and she gets her brothers back. They're there in time for the wedding. It's a nice moment.
For some reason, I still don't fully trust Shaylin's brothers. Shalon, oh my gosh, Eli, I'm sorry again.
Yeah, I'm converted too. Oh yeah, working my magic.
I hate this. I hate this so much.
Clearly you don't, because you're saying it like me.
Dalinar is like, we've killed loads of dudes. It's fine. We'll work with it.
And Dolan's like, I would fucking do it again right now. Okay, he's like, well, I'm not apologizing. I'll do it right now. Let's go.
No.
The correct way to say it. And then Dalinar becomes a writer. I love seeing him trying to learn how to write. Asking Navani, like, what's the correct like form of this? And how do I do this? And she's like, all right, we don't have one because men don't write. And like trying to figure out how to like do the proper way to do the language. And it's just so cute. And then when he has that line when he's like, we took shard blades from the women, but they took literacy from us. Who got the better deal, I wonder? And it's like, that's fucking right, baby. Who got the better deal? Yeah. And did anybody for the very first epigraphs, did anybody not guess that Dalinar was the one writing the Oathbringer epigraphs in the very beginning?
My assumption was that he was dictating it to Navani.
Okay. So you didn't think he was actually physically writing, but you thought it was hit, like it was Oathbringer was from him. Okay.
Because Oathbringer, Dalinar sword makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, who else would be? But it's just interesting. Okay. And then we have the wit epilogue, and he adopts a spren, which was gonna be Elokar's spren. Oh, and he has that little moment when you see him awaken a doll, which is just like, oh, more Warbreaker up in here. And it's just like such a cute moment when he like gets that little girl out, because she's like, I can't leave Mama, and her mom's like dead under the rubble. She's like, I can't leave Mama, and he's like, okay, but why don't you protect this little doll I made? And then he takes her over to like the other woman who like lost her kid, and he's like, I'm just making families, it's fine. It's so cute. And then he wanders up into the rubble and he finds a spren, and he's like, this is why I'm here. And he's like, I know I'm not your first choice, but this is all you got. So Hoyt has a spren now. Get out of here, Eli. You're incorrect. Get out of here.
Like, we're gonna need to like practice this later.
Wow. Yeah, so Hoyt has a spren. So his little mission to start getting all the magics from all the planets, he's just racking it up, baby. He's got a spren now. So yeah, any
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Do we know why he's collecting all of these?
I mean,
you gotta collect them all.
Collect them all? No, I don't think we know why. We just know that he is. I don't think we know. I mean, why wouldn't you if you could?
Yeah, like, I would.
Jonathan, no. Shlyn.
Wow, Shlyn. That's Shaylin if she was Shin. Ah.
No.
So any other thoughts from like all the stuff at the end? Obviously, there's like the Mosh killing Harold, Taravangian meeting with Odium.
The epilogue where he gets himself punched.
Right, he's doing a whole speech to this guy and like insulting him, and then he's like, you speak Thaylen. Oh, I don't want to repeat all that in Thaylen. So then he just cuts in front of the guy, and then he gets punched, and he's like, oh, it's much quicker, much easier.
No.
Mhm. Does anything?
really- I will. No, I'm just kidding. I'll come for, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So yeah, any other thoughts on anything that happened at the end there?
This is still a lot for me, so no.
It's a lot happens. A lot.
We're listening at 2.5 speed.
I know. I wouldn't have done that even on like the normal audio. That's too much.
It's a lot. I don't know.
It's too
I'm
much.
struggling with moving. It's in my head. I felt like I had enough things to like feel like I had structure, and now I feel like I have no structure. And
You
I'm
blurred it all together.
like, what is happening?
maybe slow it down a bit for Rhythm of War because you might need to. Rhythm of War is a wild ride. I know that much. I remember that much.
There's a lot more information coming for you.
There's so much information coming for you, and yet not enough. I'm fine. This is gonna be me next month at that live show. I'm gonna be like, okay, guys, you're all caught up now, and welcome to my torment. Who's ready for book 5?
Welcome to the last
The end of
year of our
reading.
lives.
Yes.
No, that's it.
Okay, so I did have some questions down here. I don't know. I think some of them we
Oh, yeah.
brought up during the parts, but all right. So did anyone? So in the part 2 epigraphs, there were some letters being written. One of them is a person you should have recognized the voice of. Did you recognize the voice of someone writing one of those letters? Did you?
I think I did. I think I said it in the Discord.
I don't remember. So tell me. You go and put your guess out there. Yes. Harmony, I think, was, I want to say, the third one in that batch of letters. The other two,
right off the bat.
The other two, you probably wouldn't guess. You could guess if you had like just outside cosmere knowledge, but you've not like met them. They're not like people you've met.
Or the other two, is it Hoyd?
No, they're writing to Hoyd. Those are the letters to Hoyd in response to letters he apparently wrote to them that we didn't see. Because it's like they're replying. You can tell they're replying to letters. I will say that the others are shards and or an avatar of a shard. That's all I'll say. All shards everywhere.
Shards galore.
But yes, that was the third. I think it was the third one in the part 2 epigraphs was Harmony was Say's, and it is pretty obvious. Like if you know what to look for in the way he talks. After the whole trying to figure out who the fucking hero of ages was, and you're like, okay, now I know his voice because that was him. It's like it's pretty easy to pick up when he's doing some wordy words. So. Okay, so that was my first thing here. Obviously, we talked about Azure already and who she was. Casey wanted to know what everyone's feelings about Mraize were. Any
I
thoughts
would
on
say
Mraize?
stuff, but like I don't trust myself to. Like,
Okay, we'll talk about Mraize more. Oh yeah, we'll talk about Mraize more next month. We will.
Yeah.
We got some more to say. Got some more Mraize thoughts to talk about next month. God, there's so much to talk about next month.
Just so you guys know, I'm gonna head out in like 15 minutes.
All right, we're basically at the done of the discussion. That's how done I am. So yeah, no, we're good. I'll just see if there's anything else here. Oh, did anybody have any thoughts on Venli bonding a Spren here at the end? We now have a listener singer Parshendi Radiant. Did anybody see that coming? And what are your thoughts on it?
By the end of Oathbringer, I still wasn't super invested in the Parshendi, so I'm like, I felt neutral. So,
Right. Well, just the fact that like it's assumed at this point, because I think it's even stated like Syl or somebody says like, no, they can't bond them, and then we see Venli do it. So it's like just interesting.
More invested in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I was invested.
I love
you get a lot more of them
They're
in
cool.
this one too when you're following Venli now. Anything else?
Eshonai died, right?
Yes.
That hurt my soul.
Yeah, no, it hurts. It hurts. Everyone loved Ash and I, and
yeah,
it sucks.
I did too.
And it's like I think everyone agrees a bit with Venli when she's like, the wrong sister died, and it's like, yeah, now we have to deal with you.
Truly, that's true.
But it's like, but she's learning, she's trying, she's figuring things out.
It's
She's
cool in
gonna
her
do
own
it.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing her own thing.
Making invested jokes.
We already talked about that, and we already talked about that. So yeah, okay. So do we want to go and do art and memes, and then we can? There's no trivia and a giveaway with, so we can get into this. That's your job, Casey. There's a decent amount of art, but not as many memes, and we're not doing trivia. So go whatever order you want to go in.
Doing art.
Casey, I did put the titles of like what these arts are
okay.
from at the top in case anybody's confused by what a depiction of a scene is, so you can read those. I can't see them because this is too small, but you should be able to see them on your screen.
This is Adolan and Evie.
Cute.
This is Azure.
Sure.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
I love the hair. Aziri
More-
again.
I titled them so like they go in
I
order
like
when
this
it's
one.
the same
I
name.
like this one.
That one's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I just love her hair.
It's great. Cheery,
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 cheery.
Chitty.
cheery, cheery. And a little pot of grass.
Little baby. Cultivation
like
and the
very-
Night Watcher.
Dark for some reason. But yeah, that's Cultivation in the Night Watcher.
Yeah, I am this weird green
A misty
mist.
green creature.
Even in the scene, it says she has like tentacles or something, like
Yeah,
branches
it's
with
weird.
like, tentacles. It's real weird.
It's like all misty, but it's like tentacles, yeah.
Here's
More cultivation.
Down our
Down
being
our
a Night Watcher.
Ooh, so good, so good. I love that one.
Yes.
Can you send that one in the Discord?
I can.
Nice.
I will send it in just a moment. This is the when Dalinar pulls Venli into a vision and then Odium comes, and that's when Venli's falling.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then Dalinar remembers.
Yeah, that's like Blackthorn killing people, Evie, the pain spread. I love this image so much. There's like so much to it.
There's so much.
The pain spread is like the hands, right? The hands.
Yeah, that's like the hands grabbing him. Those are the like the pain spread, I think.
Dalinar tames the thrill.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Those look like
Okay.
Colossus.
Yeah. Well, it always describes the thrill when it's like that shifting mass is like horses with their flesh ripped off. So it's like pretty similar.
Dalinar Unity Bitches is the title of this one.
That's Dalinar making the perpendicularity. Unity. God, I fucking love him.
Elokar.
King of my heart. I literally am so emo. Like I will never get over it.
Same.
I loved him so much.
I have Elokar in my head as like a 2005 emo kid. He's got like the bangs like this.
Oh, no, I remember you saying that like when you first met him in like the first book, and I was like, no.
It's
Also,
a hilarious
notice
mental.
the shadow under his crown is actually a fucking cryptic pattern. I love that.
Oh.
The artistry. I love it. I didn't notice that when I first put it in there.
Oh yeah,
Elokar
Elokar.
Davenor, his baby.
Oh no.
It hurts. He's literally holding the picture.
Yeah, it's like right when he's gonna swear the ideal, and then he's dead.
Yeah. This is Eshonai in the prologue
Oh, yeah,
looking at the map with Gavilar. Yes.
Evie and the babies.
Evie and her babies.
Oh.
Babies.
Evie and Dalinar.
Yes.
Get away from her, Dalinar.
Faces.
Some faces.
Ooh, I love this one.
Yeah, I liked a lot of these little interpretations they did. This was really good.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love it too.
I want it in the Discord.
More.
I don't know where you find these.
I just search,
We just Google.
and then I have to make sure they're not spoilery for the next book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I'm not afraid of spoilers, so I can.
That's true. That's true. You're all good now.
Yavanor.
Gavinor, little baby Gavinor. It's just a baby.
Oh, yeah,
This is
Hesina.
Hesina, Oridon, and Lirin.
Lirin.
This is Honor / Tanavas / the Almighty, which we see him in the OG visions, obviously. But
Yeah.
I like this depiction.
Jazz and Renarin running through the city together.
I just love it. And you can see like the cognitive overlaid. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
real
good.
cool. Oh yeah, Jasmine hesitating to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see Gliss.
Gliss, his corrupted little spren.
I love being able to see Gliss.
I love Gliss.
Jasmine just kicking ass.
Killing people left and right. I fucking love her. Kill everyone.
Oh yeah,
You know?
shutting down Amaranth. And
We
Shayla's
didn't even
cute.
talk about Tom because I didn't want to cry on stream.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, when Abram just shuts or Jasmine just shuts Abram down, and that scene is so fucking good.
That's so good. And then Kaladin. and
Charlotte's
little
so
brother.
tiny.
This art
Aww.
like breaks my heart so much. Like he's crying, he's got his baby brother. It's such good art.
Oh yeah, Kaladin and
Oh
Phil.
no.
Yeah. Ugh. It
Unable
hurts.
to again.
Yeah, same scene, just different art of it.
Yep.
Listen,
Yeah, we love
that moment
being
when she's like, maybe it's time for someone to save you, and I'm like, bitch. Bitch. Please someone save him. It really is. It's so good.
Oh, I love this
Kaladin,
one.
Dalinar, and Shaylin.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it's real good.
Kaladin looks so good here.
Yeah. Lift. Window.
Lift. Little window under her.
I love how people draw the cultivation spren. They're so hard to like draw.
I know. Like the way they're described is so weird, and every time I see art of them, I'm like, this is not what my brain did. But okay. Lynn from Bridgeport.
I love Lynn. We
Me
didn't
too.
talk about Lynn, but I love her.
Well, we can talk about her next month.
Maya with the scratched out eyes.
I love Maya.
The physical
so
form
much.
of the Deadeye Spren, Maya.
Maya
Yes.
is the best.
Yes.
Maya again. Most killing a fucking herald.
Did you like my whole title there? Because
Yes.
I hate him so much. I hate him.
Sometimes you just use a weird fancy blade to murder a herald. It's fine.
Yeah.
Navani and Dalinar.
It's taking forever for these to load. There they go.
Night Watcher and Cultivation. Cultivation's always so creepy, and it makes me so happy every time. I mean, Night Watcher's always so creepy.
Say, Cultivation is a goddess.
Yeah, she is.
Night Watcher's very creepy. Odium.
No,
Fen, Queen Fen of Thalen City.
Oh.
Yeah. I like her.
eyebrows.
I was a little bit annoyed by Fen.
Ooh, I liked her. I like her a lot.
I do too. This is
I think she makes good points when she's arguing with Dalinar.
Yeah.
Like she's
Ooh, I like this one.
This is great. A lot of good Shaylin persona art.
Yeah, there are a lot. I've been seeing them around for a while.
Oh yeah. I haven't been able to share them yet because it's like she wasn't full persona mode until this book. So I was like, finally I stacked some in.
Renarin in the future.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
Again. Yeah, I like the stained glass.
Yeah.
Weirdness is so cool.
Mosaic. Yeah.
Renarin and Gliss.
I love them.
I love how Gliss is portrayed. I think
this was about Lynn, and yeah, that was Lynn who got written in as like an actual fan.
Wait, what?
Lynn of Bridge 4 is based on like a real person who's like a fan of the books.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Like very loosely, it's like her name, but like yeah, that was like an homage to a fan.
That's cool because like Lynn is the only female Windrunner at this point, right?
I mean, there are other females trying out for Bridge 4 in this book.
Oh, that's right. But she's the first.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Midnight Mother.
The Midnight Mother.
Shaylin.
Midnight Mama.
Shaylin Radiant and Veil. I like the way their like legs look from at the bottom with like the illusions, like
yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
How it like it shows like the illusions going in. It's cool. It's good art.
So cool.
Shaylin.
Shalon. I'm practicing Eli. Shalon. Eli.
Steph and Lift, the dream team.
The dream team.
You can see the black line.
Yeah. She's got the ruby in her arms, and you see Wendell on the ground there.
Wendell down there, the little head man.
He looks so stupid.
Wendell looks like a sperm.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, the girl who looked up.
Yeah, this is true. There's a ton of people that Sanderson knows who get names in the books. Like most of Bridge 4 are based on people he knows, actually.
Midnight
Thank you,
Mother.
Eli.
Midnight Mother.
Midnight Mama.
I know, it's beautiful.
Midnight Mama.
I love the fake lens flare.
This is so good.
The Oath Gate.
I don't think we've had art this good since the beginning of.
I've had to hold back for spoilers.
Yeah, it's hard, especially with the Shaylin stuff. It's always all three of them.
Yeah, because you always want to show art, but there's so much art of her with hidden details of the personas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Doop doop doop.
Stormfather officiates a wedding.
He officiates a wedding. This guy just rolls up to your wedding and just covers the whole sky. Unity. Little Parchment family that Callan became friends with.
These are the real ginger wrestlers.
The OGs. Wow.
Another trio.
Another trio.
I don't like Vale's hat.
It's a cowboy hat. It's literally a cowboy hat.
Basically.
It feels like it belongs in Mistborn Era too.
I mean, you're not
it's right here.
Yeah.
This is the veil hat.
Veil hat. Yep, there it is.
I didn't get green on it, so it's fine.
It's distinct, which I think is just the point.
It's just very weird. I also don't like it.
Venley.
Venley again.
More Venley with Timber. Or Timber, however you say it.
Fire is born.
Damn, I hate him so much.
The dagger looks really cool, though.
The dagger in this art did look cool, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this in, even though I hate him. I hate him so much.
Can I have my pain?
This is part of like a whole like comic somebody did, but I didn't want to put the whole thing in here because it would take forever to go through. So I just kept this one.
I think that's the last one for the art.
I think that was the last one, yeah. It was the last of the arts.
And then there's only a few memes, I think.
Yeah, there's like 15 memes. I did not find a lot.
I added one, I think.
Yeah, I saw the one you added. I was like, I didn't put that in there.
It was from Josh.
Kids.
For Christmas, I want a chasm fiend. Be realistic. I want Kaladin to be happy. What color do you want your chasm fiend?
Violet.
Yeah. Dalinar, after burning an entire city and his wife to a crisp, almost lost my cool there.
Ooh, Steph, that Vine compilation that you sent, that from Catherine.
Oh my
where,
god!
Where like Evie like burns.
Adolan, I love your personality. Shaylin, there's 3 actually.
There's 3 of those.
Yeah. Remember the truth, Shaylin. I can't handle the truth. Kaladin returning to Hearthstone. Oridon, a baby.
He's just a baby.
Young Dalinar. I don't have a favorite son. Also young Dalinar. Adolan.
It's true.
Oh, poor Faramir.
Right.
Oh, Kaladin, how will you be oppressed with these? The lightest of eyes.
It's one of my favorite arts like I've ever seen. It just brings me joy.
Dalinar actually organized a coalition of world leaders at Teravangian. I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Literally.
Odium. What you got there? Dalinar. A whole lot of pain. A really old book.
The Way of Kings.
Alucard dies and loses his cryptic friend Hoyd. It's free real estate.
It's free real estate.
Oh, this is the one Josh sent me. It's Vale and Radiant are weird. They're so nonchalant.
Wow. It's so bad, but I love it.
That's so good, though. That's so
It's
good. I
so
love it.
Shaylin, though.
It really is. Honestly, she loves bad puns.
Rock, after watching Amber and Kaladin fight, I'm going to do what's called a pro gamer move.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even talk about
We
that.
did not talk about Rock killing Embrym for Kaladin.
So
yeah.
good.
It's pretty good.
When you were put in charge of finding out who killed Tadeus. Well, of course I know him. He's me.
Oh, you tried your best, buddy.
Wow. How'd you get like that? Every time I feel sad, I do one push-up. Jesus Christ! Adeline going over army expenses like, I mean, it's 1 banana Kaladin. What could it cost? $10? Odium, about to get Dalinar as his champion. Odium, when Dalinar rejects him, swears his third ideal, and taps into the power of honor.
Didn't expect that.
Didn't expect
I
that.
think that's the last one. Yeah.
Yep.
Those were great.
Real good.
Need to do the giveaway winner real quick, like.
Well, she gets that together. Next month, we are doing Dawn Shard and Rhythm of War. And you really got to read Dawn Shard.
Eli, guess what? You finally win one because you finally entered one. Yes, Eli. I'm going to screenshot this because I always forget who won since I'm behind on making them.
Yay, Eli.
Everybody who's won one or will win the last one that's forthcoming, expect them by the end of February. All of my February is going to be making the rest of the bookmarks.
Yes.
But Eli, you won. You won the Oathbringers. You did not enter, Alex.
Your name is also not Eli.
Yeah. But yes, thank you everybody who came and watched the Oathbringer live stream. Yes, next month. We haven't set the date yet, but we're aiming around mid-January. We'll pin that down here in the next few days for the live show. And then also sometime before January is over, we'll have our wrap-up party. So the Crabalong is coming to a close next month.
Yeah.
But we're not actually going anywhere, so don't worry.
Yeah, we will still be here. We'll be in the Discord. Don't worry about it.
Discord's not going anywhere. We'll talk more in depth about all that in the wrap-up party, though.
Yeah.
So, yes, we will see you guys next month for Dawn Shard and Rhythm of War.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thanks for watching, everybody. Life Before Death
Bye.
Radiance.
Bye.